spreading things around to Climbing, Davis, Capel, and Cahoon. Nealon will get the green light today at quarterback for Edmonton. If he stumbles, Dan Crowley will be called on to hold the fort, something he's done on a number of occasions this year. Whoever is the QB, they have the slick Kes McCorvey to throw to. He has the ability to break down any defense in the CFL. Then you have the bull in the china shop, Mark Nora. The UBC product is having a career year. Last outing against the Owls, he rumbled for 125 yards. The Eskimos will also have to contend with the wild Alouette supporters. They are the noisiest fans in the CFL. Hey folks, October is here. The playoffs are near. Alouette, Alouette. Whether you're in Rustico, PEI, Lakeview, Ontario, or Prince George, BC, we here at CBC Sports wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Welcome to Montreal, where this afternoon the Alouettes play host to the Edmonton Eskimos at a jam-packed Molson Stadium. The houses are rocking, and they're ready for some Canadian football. Hello, everybody. I'm Peter Ruckgazer. Welcome to the CFL on CBC. You know, the Montreal Alouettes, they just love playing here at Molson Stadium. Last season, they were 8-1. So far this season, they are 5-1. The reason for their success, these fans here, they make a lot of noise, and that pumps up the Owls. Let's talk about the Edmonton Eskimos for a minute. This team is remarkable. They've had injury problems all season long, yet they are 8-5. Shows you how tough this team has been mentally this season. Should be a good game. With their thoughts on the contest, let's go upstairs to Mark Lee and Chris Walby.
Thanks a lot, Peter. Well, the injury-plagued Edmonton Eskimos have reason to give thanks today on Thanksgiving Monday. That's because the sore left knee of their quarterback, Nealon Green, has responded to a week of intensive therapy, and he gets the start here today.
Well, that's the big thing. I mean, he's the main guy. He's the go guy. He's the king. And right now, I mean, they thought he was not going to be here. His knee, they tested out, no damage. He's the guy that can do it, not only through the air, but on the ground. He's the leader. He makes his own. He calls his own plays. You got to have that guy in the huddle.
How about the big man, Mark Nora, coming off his best game of the year last week?
You know, the third-year pro from UBC is only getting better. Had his best career game against these Alouettes, ran for 125 yards. What does he do to top that? Well, last week he runs for 170 yards, so who knows what he's going to do today.
He'll bring a load for Montreal's battered and weakened defensive line.
You got Ed Fillion on, you got Charbonneau out right now. They got to start Tito Hanno in his first game, Sylvester Miller on the other side, both light in the backside right now. They're going to have to get it done with speed.
Montreal's Anthony Calvillo and Ben Cahoon have quietly become one of the best go-to combos in the league right now.
You know, one of the things I like about Anthony Calvillo is the fact that this guy finally is out of the shadow of Tracy Ham. He's thrown for 19 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. Remarkable. And this guy, when he wants to get it done in a huddle, he just has to look at you.
And to think Cahoon nearly retired this year. Good to have him back. Edmonton has reconstructed its D-line. It's bigger. It's full of imports. Is it better?
Well, Doug Peterson's at home, and he can start anywhere, but they go out and they get 2 big mountain of a men. And I mean big. Ramondo Stalling, 6'7", 280. Ben Williams, 6'1", 300-plus pounds. These guys are going to be a force in the middle.
Hey, we haven't even mentioned Mike Pringle. He's the leading rusher in the league, but you've got Pringle and Mark Nora. This should be a real war on the line of scrimmage.
I tell you what, they'll be painting the helmets after this game today.
How about your game notes?
Well, I tell you what, if I'm Edmonton, on offense, win the battle of the trenches. You got to get after Montreal's smaller defensive line. On defense, speeds kills. You know what? Donnie Matthews finally has got the ability to put anybody in a one-on-one cover situation. On Montreal, avoid second and long. Put yourself in great situations when you can use your entire offensive playbook. And on defense, it's simple. Keep Nealon Green in the pocket. Last time he was here, he ran for 75 yards. You got to beat him.
All right, it's a great day for football here in Montreal. Let's get to it. Back down to Peter.
Packed crowd here at Molson Stadium. Take a look at the weather, 6 degrees Celsius. Winds coming out of the north at 10 kilometers an hour, partly cloudy. And coming up at halftime now, we'll have a feature on Edmonton receiver Rick Walters, the big man Chris Walby has the pro tips, and we'll have a preview of the BC-Winnipeg game coming up next here on CBC. Let's go back upstairs now to Chris and Mark for the kickoff.
For the 15th game in a row, it's a sellout in Montreal, and it's hard to get a ticket. This might be the best view in the house, though, Chris. That's the 8th floor of an apartment building across the street where they've got the couch set up, and a nice view of this big tilt here today. Don Matthews, the most decorated coach in the CFL, 20 seasons, 19 of which in the postseason, and he has more career victories than anybody else. 185 passing Frank Clair last year, and his counterpart matching minds here this afternoon on the Montreal sideline, Charlie Taft, the 1999 Coach of the Year. And you know, when he was preparing for this game, he told us yesterday the only players he recognizes on the Edmonton defense are the linebackers. There have been so many changes because of injury.
Well, they're the only three that are still intact the last time these two teams met. I mean, Edmonton has totally revamped their secondary, bringing in a bunch of people in since September.
Montreal won the toss. They've declined, and so Edmonton will receive. Another sellout. 15 regular season games. If you include the East Final, that's 16 games. And the owner, Robert Wetnall, telling us scarcity is a good thing in pro sports. It drives up the marketing value of your team, and they have a good thing going here.
Well, they turned away 700 people last home game. I mean, we came in today, and there's still people lining up outside to get tickets, so it's going to be a great one.
Mobley and Peterson back to receive. It's Peterson at his own 20. Jerome Peterson across the 30. He's got a seam to the 45-yard line. And a tremendous return. Winston October pulling Peterson down on the tackle, but not until he had 25 yards in tremendous field position. Nealon Green will get the start here today. He's thrown 11 touchdown passes, only 6 picks, and the last time he played Montreal, he passed for 265 yards.
Yeah, it was a touchdown, and again, as you say, the key statistic, no interceptions.
So Green, his left knee, apparently sound, will start, and he'll hand off to big Mark Nora. Hits a seam on the outside, and it's Stephon Reed from behind making the tackle. Not much running room there for Nora.
Well, there you see Nealon Green, Mark Nora, the man who just carried the football. The fullback, big Sean Daniels at the... They got the receivers, Hervey, McCorvey, Vaughn, and Nigel Williams on the outside. A great, speedy bunch of guys. Groenewegen, Princeton back from a back injury. Cunningham, Beaton, and Morris at the tackle position.
The big O-line, as we mentioned, that defensive line of the Alouettes weakened by 2 injuries to Charbonneau and Filion. Back to pass, down the middle, complete to Terry Vaughn at the 50. He makes a move, but he's got a first down as Green looks very calm and composed early.
Well, he just sits back there, gets great protection from the offensive line. As you say, Vaughn comes there. These guys are going to have to get after him. Tito Hanna Miller, we talked about them on the outside. Birch, who usually plays defensive end, moved inside. Benoit, Wiltshire, and Stephon Reed at the linebacking position, and a secondary, a ball hawk secondary led by Lester Smith with 8 interceptions.
Yes, it is the best intercepting secondary in the league. Handoff to Mark Nora. He's caught from behind on the 2-string. That's the safety, Lester Smith, coming up to make the tackle.
Well, they know they're going to start running the football. What happens then is your linebackers start to cheat up. You got to start doing some different things. What they do on this one is bring up the free safety, Lester Smith, 36, just coming through. Look at him, just coming right through, wrapping him up, getting Mark Nora before he gets to the outside. Nice job of adjusting on the flow.
5 receiver set for the Eskimos. Second down and about 11. That was a loss of 1 on the tackle by Lester Smith on Nora. Shotgun formation. Green looking across the middle. It's complete to Terry Vaughn. Great hands, and he's hit hard by Lester Smith as soon as he caught that football. Very close to another first down.
Well, a great job of concentrating, and you know what? This is what a receiver does. He's not worried. He knows he's going to get contact after he catches the ball. But what great concentration. Look at Lester Smith. He's eyeing him up. He takes 2 steps right into him. Terry Vaughn have none of it, holds on to the football. Great concentration by receiver Terry Vaughn.
Vaughn is about 172 yards coming into this game, away from 1,000. And they're going to measure this one. It's so close it is. It's a first down. So Terry Vaughn hanging in traffic in a first down.
And that's what's happening. And right now, as you say, Nealon Green looking very comfortable back there, throwing the ball, a perfect strike on the money, right to where it can only be caught by Terry Vaughn.
Green represents a threat with his legs, too. He can get outside and scramble. 65 yards was it last time they played. And, of course, with Nora coming up the middle, the freight train, he's got to keep this Montreal defense honest. First series still moving. It's a handoff to Nora, and he rumbles for a handful of yards up the middle, but it's tough sledding, and so this D-line for Montreal, undersized but looking tougher.
Well, they say, you know, Charlie Taft says, yeah, we're undersized, but we're quick. We're not going to take the blocks on. We're going to try and defeat the blocks, get away from it, use our quickness to beat it, and nullify the running attack. And they do a great job on that play. the biggest thing right now is the defensive ends, the outside guys in the Montreal defense, have to be really conscious of Nealon faking it, use a play action pass, and stretch it to the outside.
5 receivers set. Walters is in for Daniels now. Nealon across the middle, and Walters gets the catch, and he's hit hard by Lester Smith again. That's 3 big tackles by the safety, and it'll be short of a first down. Just barely, though.
Just barely, but I gotta like the precision. This is all timing. Look at the great job of protection right there. Cunningham, nice job. Walters finds the opening right in front of the safety. Yeah, he's going to get hit again by Lester Smith, but they're finding the spot behind the linebackers and in front of the free safety, Lester Smith.
Daniels back into the game now at the running back position along with Nora. Mark Nora, the only Canadian starting tailback in the CFL. Third down gamble here. Third and less than a yard for the Eskimos. They'll go for it. Hand off. It's a fumble. Nora drops the ball. The Alouettes say they've got it. It's Montreal ball. And Benoit's running to the end zone, but the whistle's been blown.
Well, Benoit's running in the fact that he's feeling that nobody touched him when he got into the pile with the football. Referee is signaling otherwise, and Montreal will take over on their own 31. And I tell you what, a very missed opportunity by a very organized and efficient Edmonton offense.
So a big turnover on what looked like a promising first series, and it's Montreal's ball when we come back. Mark Nora puts the ball on the ground, and the Alouettes take over, snuffing what looked like a big drive for Edmonton.
Well, you think you're going to do the quarterback sneak, but they don't even do it. It's a great handoff. It's right there. All that's happening is that Mark Nora is actually looking for the hole where he's going to run. Now, he's looking to where he's got to go before he secures the football, and that's all it was. Just took his hands. As a result, Nealon hit him in the arm. Ball comes loose, and Montreal comes up with a great big recovery.
The best offense in the East. Montreal averaging 33 points a game. It's Mike Pringle. Nora's counterpart puts his head down. It looks like he's got about 5 on his first carry of the game.
Well, you know, we talk about Nora all game, and as you said, Montreal's got a pretty good running back in itself, and Mike Pringle. I mean, here's a guy coming in 1,248 yards rushing right now.
And of course, Anthony Calvillo having another banner year. 19 touchdown passes, just 4 interceptions. And he has a quarterback efficiency rating of 109.6, which is higher than the record he shares with David Archer. Second and about 6. 5 receivers set. Haskins in for Montreal. Across the middle for Haskins. Hit him in the hands and incomplete with Grant Carter shadowing him. And so it's a punt situation.
Well, they get the receivers to clear the route, and all of a sudden they open up the zone. Here comes Haskins underneath, as you say. This ball should have been caught. Thomas Haskins knows he's got to catch this to keep these drives alive. Good throw by Calvillo. And you talked about the fact he's only got 4 interceptions. Why? Because he's making great on-field decisions. That's a great throw. It's right there. Thomas Haskins has it in his hands. He's got to come down with the catch.
Terry Vaughn and Senior Mobley back to await this punt from Terry Baker. High spiral coming down to Vaughn at his 28. Terry Vaughn across the 35. Hit hard. There's a flag on the play as Vaughn was tackled just across his own 40-yard line. A 47-yard punt by Baker and a 12-yard return.
Well, it's interesting to finally see the flag being thrown after the games these two teams had last week. I mean, Edmonton gets 20 penalties against them, and Montreal had 21 penalties against them. I think both.
Slipping. Edmonton, number 92. First down.
So that's coming back. Let's take a look at it. There's the clip on Benoit.
Right there, yeah, he comes up and it almost looks like he stumbles. Trips on the turf. When I was on the turf a little bit before the game, it is a little slick right there. We had a little bit of rain yesterday. It's still wet and slippery out there today.
Robert Brown with the infraction for the Eskimos. He'll start first down at their own 25. Nealon Green. Play action now. Rolling right across the middle. It's complete to Ricky Walters for a first down on some crafty play action there.
This is what you have to do. If I got a quarterback like Nealon Green, I've got to start to use the play action, stretch the defense. It's a great job. Look, fake the handoff to Nora. Look at Sylvester Miller. That's the rush end. His responsibility is to keep the quarterback inside. On that one, he gets sucked down, reads the play as a running play. As a result, Nealon Green gets to the outside.
The Green's rolling. This team has the dubious record of allowing more sacks than any other team. 41 as Nora goes up the middle. That's his first big gain of this game, up the middle.
And one of the reasons Mark Nora will have success running the football, again, is a reflection of Nealon Green taking off with the football. If he takes off to the outside with the football on play action, that defensive end has to stay outside. That linebacker has to stay outside. You are creating running lanes.
3 times he's been over 100 yards this season. The first, of course, was against Montreal in that 29-7 victory at home. And then 1 week ago, 170 yards, his best effort for the Heck Crichton Trophy winner of 1997. Carr off the left side, rumbling hard. It was a 2nd and 4 situation. And he'll be shy of the first down. We'll see where they spot it.
And this is the thing that, you know, Coach Matthews likes the fact that he's got a guy, Craig Carr, a rookie out of University of Manitoba. His play started in 2 games this year, both victories by the club. They love his speed. They say he can get outside, he can turn those jets on.
Carr with 156 yards on just 35 carries coming into this game and 1 touchdown. And so another 3rd down gamble. The last one, of course, ended in disaster when Nora fumbled in Montreal territory. But they're going again here, 3rd and less than a yard. Eskimos. Handoff to Nora up the middle, and it looks like he'll have enough as Rick Cunningham signals first down for the Eskimos. And it is a first down from referee Glenn Johnson. So they make good on their 2nd gamble of the game.
Well, they're not going to go away from what's been successful in the past. Yes, they fumbled the previous play. They do the same thing again. They got fullback Sean Daniels in right now. He's just going to go to the outside, pull one of the linebackers. And as you say, Mark Nora and the big offensive line do the rest and plow forward for the necessary yardage to keep the drive alive.
Looking at Nora on the sidelines after the fumble, he didn't look too upset. He was composed, shook it off. I thought the handoff was a bit high in his numbers on that fumble. Play action. Green now, flushed and throws it away. There are no flags on the play. He gets it over the line of scrimmage.
Well, they got to do pressure, and we talked about the fact that Montreal's defensive line undersized right now. You're going to have to bring blitzes and stuff. You're going to have to bring Stephon Reed, the linebackers. They do a great job of him bringing them in. See, look at Mark Washington, number 23, coming in there right now. If you bring a different look, you'll confuse the quarterback.
That was the first incomplete pass thrown in this first quarter by Green. He's 4 for 5 at 43 yards. 2nd down and 10. Green in the shotgun. Stepping up in the pocket, he'll roll right now. Will he run? He'll put the ball down and run. Green heading for the first down marker across the 50, and he'll have the first down as he hits a sound man in the advertising and helps him up.
He helps him up. He's a good-hearted guy. Used to be a Boy Scout.
But there's that threat when Green is allowed to get outside containment.
And one of the things they say about Tito Hanna, the guy that he gets the outside of right there, is the fact that Tito Hanna is not the biggest guy in the world, but he's got good speed. Now, watch number 69 right there. I mean, he's going to get after him right now. He's got some good speed and is actually closing on Nealon Green.
First down, Eskimos at the Montreal 46. Shotgun play action. Green wide side to Ricky Walters. He's wide open. Walters across the 25, cuts upfield, still going. Ricky Walters with some blockers. Touchdown, Edmonton. Ricky Walters with his third touchdown of the year, a 46-yard reception and some tremendous open field running.
Well, great open field running, but the biggest thing is he beats the zone. But they do the play action. The play action is so important. Look at everybody get sucked in. It holds them momentarily. What happens is nobody's over here. Somebody's got to be covering this guy. 13 so wide open. They react late, and as you say, the rest of it is done by Ricky Walters, taking it all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Former Saskatchewan Rough Rider, veteran of 7 seasons out of Simon Fraser University, with a tremendous touchdown on the second offensive drive of the season for the Eskimos. And they're on the board first. 7-0 Edmonton here in Montreal. Ricky Walters puts the Eskimos up 7-0 on a wide open reception and what looked like blown coverage.
Well, I mean, somebody's got to be over there in the flat. Just to play action, you know, play to freeze everybody momentarily. But, I mean, he gets outside there, and there is nobody around him. I mean, your cornerback's got to be out there. You can't cheat like that and let a guy come that free.
Baron Miles was blitzing on the backside. Winston October at his own 5. Mr. October has a seam down the middle. October gets through a couple of tacklers, finally hauled down at his own 35-yard line. He's brought back 2 this year. Not this time. 29-yard return on the kickoff by Winston October.
Well, it's a nice job, and you know, this is just a gift. You have to have great peripheral vision to see the holes and to go full speed. You can't sit down and you see him actually running past the blockers. You got to get up there, find a hole, and explode through it. You can't sometimes wait to set.
2 punt return touchdowns this year, and he's threatening Johnny Rogers' punt return yardage single-season record here in Montreal. First down. Montreal, hand off to Pringle, rumbling hard. He'll have a good run on that first carry of this series, close to a first down.
Well, Ben Cavillo, obviously Pringle, Appel, the fullback, got his touchdown on a reception last week. I mean, Alexander, Cahoon, Climbing, Davis, the wide receiver, and that big offensive line. Chu, Sutherland, and Versatile, Okeke, and Fort at the tackles. A mountain of an offensive line.
Edmonton was 6 first downs so far. Montreal none. Second and short. Hand off to Pringle outside this time. First down and more. Pringle across center field. Finally hammered out of bounds by Terry Ray. But some big open field running there from the Rambler.
I mean, he can take it inside, he can take it outside. On this particular play, gets around the corner. Great job at the point of attack by Uzuma Okeke. He does a nice job on Bertrand Berry to allow Mike Pringle to get to the outside.
17-yard gain outside for Pringle in the first down of this game for the Alouettes. Inside Edmonton territory now at the 51. Cavillo back to pass. Down to the sideline. It's complete to Tyree Davis. And another Montreal first down.
Well, you got some great receivers on this team right now. You got Ben Cahoon at the other wideout. You got Tyree Davis, a speed demon on the short side here. All he does is working one-on-one, but a nice job of turning him inside out, bringing it over to the sideline, making a great catch in front of Shannon Garrett.
Davis with a 14-yard gain on the play. Montreal with 2 men in the backfield. Pringle and Heppel. High formation now. Heppel moves to block. Flare pass right side. Jock Climbing steps one by one player outside again, and finally ridden out of bounds by Eric Edwards. But it looks like another Montreal first down.
What a great job. I mean, Jock Climbing, these guys have got to stop Anderson, Williams, Stallings, and Reese, the big boys on the line. Carter, Ray, and Mobley, the only unit still intact for the last time these two teams met. And the secondary, totally revamped since September. Stanton, Clarkson, Peterson, Edwards, and Garrett at the corner.
13 starters on opening day, gone with injuries on this Edmonton team. Calvillo back to pass. Montreal threatening, going deep to the end zone. Climbing. There's a flag on the play. Jerome Peterson with the coverage, pleading his innocence. But it looks like there'll be interference.
Well, it's an interesting call because they're both fighting for the football right there. And it almost looked like Climbing was trying to push him away just to try to get a little bit of separation from him, but it'll be interesting, this call.
Here's Glenn Johnson.
Deliberate forward pass interference. Edmonton, number 29. First down.
Well, you be the judge. Jerome Peterson called for interference.
Well, it's one-on-one coverage. It just takes him to the outside, and he comes back in. A little bit of a shove right there. He got little hands on him right there. He's not watching the football, and that's one of the things I think the referee saw. If you're playing the football and you have contact, they might call it incidental contact. But on that play, he threw the flag.
So a huge opportunity here now. First and goal at the 6 for Montreal. Calvillo, play action, rolling, naked bootleg. He'll hold on to it and go out of bounds. Hit hard. Ralph Statton puts him through the signboard and onto the hard track.
Yep. Well, you got to love the fact that Edmonton's defensive backs weren't fooled by the play action, because what it's designed to do is allow Anthony Cavillo to get out, and he has the option of either throwing the football, which is what he's really going to try to do here, but the defensive backs do a great job of covering the receivers, and the speed of the defensive line knocks Anthony Cavillo out.
Yeah, Cavillo strung out on that play. The gain is about 1. It's second and goal now from the 5-yard line. Pringle, the only man in the backfield. Now he moves up to block. Pass situation. Calvillo back. Rolling now. Flush. Will throw it away. Calvillo couldn't find anybody open in the corner of the end zone.
Well, wonderful coverage by the secondary and linebackers getting back in there. I mean, they're doing a great job, but I got to kind of question why Anthony Calvillo would leave the protection of the big hoggies up front. They were doing a great job of giving him time. It almost looked like he couldn't see, and he had to kind of flush himself out from behind his big left tackle, Uzomo Okeke, and by that time, what that allowed Albert Reese, the defensive end, to get in his face, and Calvillo had to throw the football away.
So this Edmonton defense, which has been patched together with all kinds of new players, especially in the secondary, stalling Montreal, forcing this field goal attempt from the 12-yard line. Terry Baker hits it, and it's good. And so with 3:12 to go in the opening quarter, it's Edmonton 7, Montreal 3. Welcome back to Montreal. Mike Pringle appears to have calmed down, but moments ago he was furious after that blown drive. Montreal was on the 6-yard line, first and goal, and they didn't give him the ball once.
Well, great opportunity down there, as you say, and I think Mike Pringle felt like, give me the ball. I can tell, you know, I got 2 cracks from the 6-yard line. You can see him very frustrated, but I think Montreal was figuring that Edmonton probably expected that he was going to get the football and tried to psych Edmonton out by doing a little play-action pass.
Well, the kickoff goes out of bounds. Mike Pringle, you have to wonder about the play calling, though. First down and goal on the 6. You've got the best running back in the CFL, and you don't put the ball in his hand.
I agree with that to a point. I mean, you got a great big offensive line. You got a guy like Mike Pringle who, you know, who can do so many things when he gets the football. But I think sometimes coaches try to outthink. It's a game of chess out there. And Edmonton probably expected to see Pringle. So they figured if everybody comes in, they do a play-action pass, the whole line and linebackers coming to get Pringle, somebody would be open on the receivers, or Calvillo could run it in himself. What happened, though, was opposite. Edmonton played structure. They played sound football on defense.
First down, Eskimos now. They'll take the ball at the 45-yard line with a 5-receiver set again. Empty backfield. Green the pass. Across the middle. And it's errant. Incomplete, as it was headed for Ed Hervey, and it was against the grain.
And the first pass that Nealon Green has thrown today that's been off the mark. He's been right on the money, throwing into coverage, but hitting the receiver beautifully up until that pass.
Well, they continue to pump crowd noise on the speaker system here at Molson Stadium. Usually when the Eskimos are in the huddle, sometimes when they come up over the ball. We've seen this in past years.
The 13th man.
4 receivers to the wide side now for the Eskimos. Second down and 10. Green, time goes short side. There's a miscommunication there, and Davis Sanchez was the only player close as he tried in vain to make the interception.
Well, I think he was looking at Kaz McCorvey to take it to the out. Kaz McCorvey might have thought he had an option route on it, which meant that if he didn't get him to bite on the out, took it up the field, Nealon Green threw it to the spot where they're supposed to be. You can see them all talking on the sidelines. They're going to get that straightened out right now, so it doesn't happen. And, you know, Montreal doesn't get an opportunity to intercept one of those errant throws.
Don Matthews was telling us yesterday that he thinks that his young sophomore as a starter with Edmonton, Nealon Green, has plateaued as a quarterback, and they're trying to work with him now more intensely with their coaching. He's asked that they start calling some of the plays.
Well, you know, he's only played 2 years, and he didn't play. He was hurt a little bit last year, so he hasn't had a full season yet.
Winston October, the only man back for the Alouettes. He sidesteps the coverage, then finally is knocked over by Terry Ray and a host of Eskimo tacklers.
Closed captioning of this program is brought to you by Tim Hortons Cafe Mocha. Just one of our 3 delicious specialty coffees.
Well, Ricky Walters with the game's only touchdown was one of 3 Edmonton players who missed the flight here to Montreal. There's Walters along with Ed Hervey and Terry Ray. Apparently there was an accident on the White Mud Highway.
Hey, that's your story, and they're sticking to it.
Well, Don Matthews was telling us that the Air Canada flight attendant came to him during the flight to say, just got a message, your guys are going to be on the next flight out. I spoke sternly to them, so you don't have to.
She handled the discipline.
Calvillo, play action now, buying lots of time. Far side sideline, nobody there. You can hear somebody screaming in agony out there.
Well, nice job of Edmonton getting a little bit of pressure on him, forcing a throw, but I kind of question there's 2 guys in the same area right now. I mean, he's sitting back there.
Kevin Alexander was closest, his old teammate at Utah State, but it was nowhere to be caught.
Well, big Ramondo Stallings was not going to let him set up there.
Second down. Bruno Heppel is out. Haskins in. 5-receiver set. Here's Calvillo. Lots of time. Wide open in the middle. It's Cahoon across the middle and over the 45-yard line for a big Montreal first down.
What a lovely job of finding the zone. Ben Cahoon reads it, sits down, but this play would not happen if it wasn't for the fact of Mike Pringle getting out there and chopping backside, allowing Anthony Camilo to get to the corner to set up a throwdown football. Nice job of execution by the Montreal offense.
25-yard pickup for the Alouettes. First down now at their own 46. Calvillo in the shotgun formation, hands off this time to Pringle, and he goes down quickly after a gain of a few, running off tackle right.
Well, there's a big battle going on down there right now. You got Neil Ford, Mike Sutherland, a couple big 300-pounders. But, I mean, they're going against some big guys, too. I mean, you got Ben Williams, 300 pounds. Romano's 270. This is a lovely, lovely thing to watch if you're a lineman on either side of the ball.
Gain was 2 on the play by Pringle. Second down and 8, Montreal. Pringle alone in the backfield. Back to pass, Calvillo. He'll throw. It's complete again. Alexander has it at the 50 of Edmonton for another first down. Montreal.
This is what is so important. They bring Kevin Alexander in. They love this kid. He's playing in his 4th game. He's a legitimate speed threat. But what they don't realize is Kevin Alexander and Anthony Camilo were teammates at Utah State. They know each other from the college and university days. These guys got a great chemistry going already.
That was 8 years ago. They still have the connection. 2 touchdowns this year. The rookie for the Alouettes. Calvillo play action, back to pass, across the middle. Wide open is Jock Climby across the 25. Finally hauled down at the Edmonton 20-yard line. So Calvillo, after some errant passes, is on the money. And the Alouettes are moving. That's the end of the first quarter. We're back for the second, and it's 7-3 Edmonton leading Montreal. Quarter of 2 Eastern here as we welcome you back to Molson Stadium in Montreal on a beautiful October Thanksgiving Day Monday afternoon. A sellout here, the 15th game in a row for the Alouettes, and here are the first quarter sets.
Well, nice job. I mean, you're looking at both offenses are really firing right now. They're moving the ball effectively. Yards passing Edmonton of 89, 92 for Montreal, who seems to be finding a little flow right now. Net yards very even. The time of possession, though, Montreal 9:02, and that's because the first drive they started off of the game, they really moved the ball well using the clock. Unfortunately, Mark Knorr on that play fumbled it and gave Montreal the ball back.
30-yard gain by Climby on that last reception. First down, Alouettes at about the 20. Give it to Mike Pringle. Hit hard. He ran into traffic early and then kept going. I think it was Grant Carter who made first contact.
You gotta love that. You just gotta love that. They give it to him deep. He finds a hole. He goes off the left side behind Bercheville and Chu. Now, Grant Carter does a great job as we see him on the ground right now. He reads the play. Any good middle linebacker is going to see that. His job, get in there and fill the hole. He does it, and they meet, and it's a collision. Him and Pringle hit each other. And Grant Carter.
Well, it looked like Carter got the worst of that one as he's still prone on the field, and he's holding his face mask. It looked like they went head-to-head on that contact.
They absolutely do a great job of filling it. Here he is right here. He's just going to read it. Comes in there. Look at that.
Oh, he got ear hold.
But, I mean, he just turns his shoulders a little bit. Mike Pringle's a north-south runner. He runs straight at him. Look at that. Right in the side of the head. He tries to square up. Ear hold him right in the side. Got him in his shoulder. And, Mike, I tell you what, you're going to have to wrap up Mike Pringle. This guy, when his legs go, they keep moving.
Oh, that's tough luck, though, for Grant Carter, who seemed to be reborn in Edmonton with a new career at middle linebacker after being cut by the Bombers 1 year ago. A rush end who wasn't doing much rushing, his responsibilities curtailed. And
oh, absolutely. I mean, they really they didn't utilize him properly at Winnipeg. We know that. I mean, they put him in a situation where they were looking at him to get to the quarterback, but they were dropping him in coverage half the time. His numbers weren't there. They said, well, hey, you know, if we look at what you're doing statistically, we can't afford to keep you.
Well, injuries have been atrocious for Don Matthews and this Edmonton defense. As we mentioned, Carter and the other two linebackers were the only three guys that played against Montreal the last time they met in August.
Well, we see Grant Carter now jogging off under his own scheme. I mean, this guy is a tough guy. He's a warrior. I mean, what a great job of filling a hole. As you say, took the worst of the of the hit from Mike Pringle, but he'll be back and looking to do it again.
Edmonton opened the game with 6 first downs in a row. Now Montreal has had the last 7. Looking to convert and make it 8. Second down at about 6. Flags on the play, and it looks like the call will be offside as it's blown down. Carter with his helmet off, and he looks like he's got a shot at his jaw there.
Well, you can see there's a little bit of a cut right there too as well.
Offside, Edmonton, number 96. Repeat second down.
Steve Anderson offside, and so it makes an easy 2nd and 1 situation now for the Alouettes.
A nice job of Calvillo playing with the cadence, getting the defense of Edmonton to jump on that play.
2nd down and 1. Calvillo, quarterback sneak, and it looks like he'll have the yardage for a first down, Montreal.
Well, the shortest distance is right behind your center, and that's what he does. He follows Brian Chu, Pierre Verseville, Mike Sutherland to kind of make the little triangle wedge there. Nice job of keeping their feet driving and allowing Calvillo to get that first down.
So it'll be 1st and goal, the ball on the 10-yard line of the Eskimos. And for the 2nd time in this game, Montreal's inside the 10. Justin Ring now into the game. Pringle outside, puts his head down. They get his legs and then smear him out of bounds. Short gain on the play.
Nice job. We talked about the team speed. This is what Edmonton gives you on defense. They have the ability to string this play out. Nice job at the point of attack by number 33. Look at Bruno Heppel getting a great block on Reese. But again, the team speed. Shannon Garrett coming up there from the cornerback position.
And he got low.
Going low, taking the big man's legs.
So the gain is only 2. 2nd and goal. Pringle has been a battering ram here early, putting Carter out of the game. Back to pass, Calvillo across the middle. Haskins can't catch it. It's tipped. And then it bounced close to Alexander. Or was it Climby there? 2 receivers had a shot at it. And it's incomplete. And so again, inside the 10-yard line, the Alouettes cannot score a touchdown.
Well, they do a wonderful job of marching the football down the football field. They come back to the play again of having Haskins come over the middle, just a little dump pass to him. And the 2nd time in a row they've gone to that, they've had the same result. Thomas Haskins just can't squeeze the pigskin.
Terry Baker, his 2nd field goal attempt of the game. This one from 15, down and good. And so Baker, 2 for 2 in field goals, narrowing the Alouettes' lead to just 1 here early in the 2nd quarter. Welcome back. A reminder, game 2 of our Thanksgiving Day doubleheader coming right up after this one at 4 Eastern. It's the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in BC to play the Lions, and these two men admiring each other's teams yesterday, with Don Matthews saying he normally goes to the officials before a game and points out all the dirty players on the opposing team, but he says this is an honest football team in Montreal.
A lot of respect for each other.
Peterson at his own 5. Changes gears. Can't break the tackle. An 18-yard return.
Nice job of Matt Petz. The first-round draft choice out of Wake Forest, going down, making a presence on special teams.
So Nealon Green will get another chance here to open up his offense. He has looked smooth. His passing has been crisp. 1 touchdown pass in this game to Ricky Walters. Mark Nora has not been a huge factor yet on the ground. Empty backfield. Play action. It's handed off now to Nora, coming back from the right side, and he doesn't get much there. A yard or 2.
Nice job of Jason Richards. The guy had his knee scoped 10 days ago, played last week after only 4 days, and to come back and fight the play, fight the offensive lineman off, making them making the tackle in the backfield. Great job pursuit by Jason Richards.
Of course, Ed Fillion and Steve Charbonneau missing in the interior of that line. Second down and 9. The game was only 1. Shotgun formation. Elon Green to pass. Wide side. It's complete to Williams. And he's hammered, but he's got the first down. Nigel Williams across the 35 to about the 37-yard line.
Well, absolutely wonderful job of Nigel Williams reading the coverage, finding the hole in it, but it all starts with the boys up front, and they do just an excellent job of giving them all day to set up and read the entire field. We know they threw the ball to Nigel Williams, but he looked all over the field before he delivered that football.
11-yard gain is Williams turned Kelly Wiltshire inside out on the pivot. First down, Eskimos. Shotgun. Hand off to Mark Nora. Off tackle right. Again, it's heavy sledding as he gets to about the 40-yard line. Gain of about 2 on the play.
Well, Swift Birch, I mean, here's a guy that always plays the outside, but will do anything he can. He's a great team guy. If he has to play inside, he will. He does a nice job of fighting off the block. I mean, right there at the point of attack. Just playing against the guy, Tim Princeton, who's his first game back, fights him off and makes the play.
Swift Birch, who normally plays the end, moving inside to help fill in for the injured Fillion and Charbonneau. Second down and 7. And that pass is nearly picked off by Sanchez, but there's a flag on the play. Ball was intended for Ed Hervey.
It almost looked like when Sanchez was going for it that he tipped him, but
yeah, it looked like a pick, though.
Montreal's kind of indicating it's against him.
It looked as though Hervey almost picked one of the DBs. And he was the intended receiver.
Well, that's definitely the call. They have called pass interference. You can see Neil Green and company trying to persuade the referees that maybe that was the wrong call, but once the call's been made.
Forward pass interference. Edmonton, number 81. Penalties decline. Third down.
I'm not sure if Hervey was trying to prevent the interception, but Sanchez, the ball hawk with 7 this year, was moving in.
You know, that's a good point. A lot of times they'll tell a receiver that if he can't catch the ball, you know, eliminate any possibilities of the other team intercepting. And as you say, he came back and he did get a little shot on Sanchez as he was diving for the football. The referee called it.
Sean Fleming, the number 6th ranked punter in the CFL with a 42.5-yard average coming into this football game, stands just across his own 26. It's a wobbly punt, short. October running, gets it on the fly, and then's hammered. Flag is down. Justin Ring made the tackle, but it may be no yards. And there's bad blood on the field. They'll break it up. It'll be first down Alouettes when we come back to Molson Stadium. Alouettes huddling up, ready to go on offense. Their last 2 series have been inside the 10, but they haven't been able to put a touchdown.
Well, red zone production. I mean, they tried a little play-action pass earlier down in the scoring zone. And Edmonton would have no part of it. They had to settle for a Terry Baker field goal. Next possession, they drive it all the way down again, and little dump pass to Haskins, and as a result, Terry Baker field goal. 12
and 15-yard field goals from Baker, and it's 7-6 Edmonton on the strength of the Ricky Walters touchdown.
And they also, I mean, the 10-play and a 7-play drive the last 2 drives.
First down Alouettes. Ball at the 46 after a no-yards penalty. Double reverse. Round the right side is Alexander. Puts his arm out and finally is pushed out of bounds for a gain of about 5 on the play.
Well, they're really looking for ways to get Kevin Alexander more involved in the offense. They know he's got great speed. He's going to be a great receiver for this team. But they want to put the football in his hands anyway, and this is one of the other ways they have. Little reverse, use his speed, get him to the outside, picks him a nice 6-yard gain on first down.
Second down and 5. As the old teammates at Utah State hook up again. Calvillo and Alexander. Calvillo back to pass. Time. It's complete for another first down. Ben Cahoon. Oh, no, it's Alexander again.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a nice job, but it all starts at the front. I mean, you got some great protection working. Look at Neil Ford. Big Neil Ford working against Bertrand Berry. 6'6", hand on a jersey, take him down the turf. You got to like those ones.
As we mentioned off the top, an all-import defensive line for the Eskimos.
Well, they dressed 6 import defensive line for this game so they can rotate them.
Hand off to Mike Pringle, right side. He's hit hard by Barry. Gain will be about 5 on first down.
Well, the thing about Mike Pringle, and this is something you got to remember, the guy carries the ball so often, he's still got a 5.5 yard average. That's great. It allows you, as we said earlier in the opening, to have a second and short, medium situation.
But he had to miss practice earlier this week, nursing a sore hamstring. And you know that's got to be a concern to a running back, a big muscle like that. But he looks okay, and he's been solid here today.
Well, he's got big muscles everywhere.
Thomas Haskins into the game now for the Alouettes. 5 receiver set. They'll stay on the ground. Pringle hit hard in the backfield and dropped immediately.
Ben Williams just goes right through the offensive guard's block. This is his second game. They just got released from Chicago. I mean, this guy is huge. He played with Shreveport back in 94, 95.
He played against him, didn't you?
I mean, he just goes, look, he's right there. He's just going to go right through the block of Pierre Bergevin, pick a shoulder, and go. And he does a nice job of doing that and makes the play. And
support from Steve Anderson. And it's a 3rd and 6 situation, punt situation. Baker back at his 49. He's had 6 punts blocked this year. Vaughn and Mobley back to receive. Time, taking his time, he's going to fake it. Baker will run. Baker's got all kinds of room and a first down. And he'll slide at the 35, and there are flags down. Rough play.
Well, this is something that Terry Baker has done a couple of times, and a lot of times the coach doesn't even know he's going to do it. He's got full right. If he reads it and he sees there's no rush, and he'll take off with the football. Now look at him, he holds it, he's going to kick it, but all of a sudden he sees everybody's turning to go get a block. They're doing a return.
Number 5. First down.
Hensey Charles with unnecessary roughness, and that'll move the sticks even more.
Well, I don't know.
First down just outside the 20.
And Mark, we just saw the replay, and I don't know if that's rough play. Come on, these guys are kickers. I know that they're not the toughest guys in the world, but if you want to get a better image for kickers, you got to start letting them take some hits without throwing a flag all the time.
No, it's not two-hand touch, that's for sure. As Baker warms up, he's had 2 field goals on 2 stalled drives inside the red zone for the Owls. Here they go again. 3rd series. Trying to put a touchdown in the end zone. First down. And it looks like the Eskimos have called the timeout.
They're missing somebody. They're missing a lineman.
Let's take another look at that last play. The fake punt by Baker. It looked like the outside men didn't hang in, and well, you can't see it there.
This is the end of the play, but what happens as Terry Baker is going to initially kick the football, he sees the defenders turn their backs and start to run back to set up a wall to block for the kick returner. When he sees that, he knows he can take off with the ball because nobody's watching him. There should always be, and there always is, somebody who makes the kicker kick the ball. They didn't do it on that play.
Hensey Charles, the former Alouette, looked like he committed himself and really couldn't avoid the contact. Back to pass, Calvillo looking deep down the left side. It's incomplete, and there's a flag on the play. Davis had Garrett draped all over his back. See what the call is from Glenn Johnson.
Deliberate forward pass interference. Edmonton, number 23. First down.
Shannon Garrett, that's the 2nd pass interference on the defense.
Well, both these teams, I mean, last week we saw this in Hamilton. Tyree Davis, they respect his speed. It's a little play-action pass. He sets back, throws the ball. He's got a little bit of one-on-one coverage right there. Goes up for the football, and obviously the referee saw something. He's right on the play right there. Must be some contact as he's going for the football.
First and goal. Montreal at the Edmonton 5-yard line. Calvillo up behind his center. Wide backfield. Handoff to Pringle. He gets the call, rolling hard, and he's taken down shy of the goal line.
And we talked about the last time they were on a 6-yard line. They didn't give Mike Pringle the ball either play. He threw his helmet. He's very disgusted. Bruno Happel, great job of getting to there. I mean, you're taught to follow your fullback. He does a wonderful job of getting in the hole, finding it, but the offensive line again doing their job, allowing Happel to get through there. And of course, Mike Pringle right in his back pocket.
2nd and goal now. The ball at the 1 of Edmonton. Calvillo hands off. Pringle again. Straight arm. Dives in. Touchdown. There's a flag on the play.
Flag was thrown late at the end, in the back of the end zone. It's going to be a real interesting call right here.
Well, Pringle and the Alouettes are celebrating as if this will stand. We'll see what the call is. Too many men on the field against the Eskimos. Just earlier in that series, they had one short.
Well, that's
Too many men. Edmonton, penalties decline. Touchdown.
Well, that's got to make you even feel better. You bring an extra guy on there and you still score a touchdown on him right there.
They had a baker's dozen and they couldn't stop Mike Pringle.
Well, Mike Pringle obviously a lot more happy on the bench than he was the previous couple times down in the red zone. I mean, he just does a great job of strong arming his way into the end zone right there, following the block of Pierre Versnall, Oteke, and Chu.
Well, the point after is blown down as Baker put it through the uprights. Mike Pringle with his 15th rushing touchdown of the season. That's a new personal best, breaking his previous record of 14.
There was no play. An Edmonton player was down prior to the snap.
So they'll do it again. Ricky Walters is down. He went down prior to the snap, so you have to wonder whether he's been cramping up or what happened there.
Well, you got to remember, you can cramp on the warm weather.
Yeah, it looks like a cramp. They're working on his foot.
But also the cold weather has something. It's all dehydration either way.
Working on Pringle's right ankle, but he's smiling, savoring that 15th rushing touchdown. A league-leading 15 TDs on the road, on the run. Standing room only in Montreal, and in this case on the roof of the McGill Athletic Facility. It's another packed house on a beautiful Thanksgiving Day Monday. A little gray now, but they're enjoying this one, a 13-7 Montreal lead.
Just a great atmosphere. You actually got to be here to experience it.
Jerome Peterson at his own 11-yard line for the Eskimos. Peterson outside with some blocks. Gets a seam on the outside, driven hard out of bounds by Wiltshire at the 40-yard line. The last touchdown of the Alouettes set up by this man on the fake punt by Terry Baker, who's making a habit of this.
Well, this is definitely the key play. Obviously, we're going to punt the ball, and he just, look at it, he turns, everybody's running away. You can see everything at Brown, all the guys from Edmonton are turning to go get their blocks. And the veteran, the cagey veteran that he is.
And then this was the scene on September 24th against the BC Lions. Right here, same thing, pulls it down, and this led to the winning points in a 29-28 victory.
Experience, that's what it's all about, and Terry Baker's got tons of it.
Elon Green, handoff, hit hard. Nora, nowhere to go there as he's dropped at the line of scrimmage.
Well, they're doing a really nice job. I mean, Sheldon Benoit knows they're going to get hand off the football. He's playing tight. He's the middle linebacker. He just comes up here. There's his partner, Stephon Reed. They're playing tight to the line of scrimmage. They do a wonderful job. Look at Kelly Wiltshire's right here, too. Look at the linebackers. They're all up in the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they've got 8 men in the box on that one. 2nd down and 10. Eskimos. Shotgun formation. Green back to pass. Lots of time. Now he'll run. Pressure from behind. He's sacked. It's the newcomer, Tito Hanna.
Great coverage downfield by the secondary and the linebackers, getting the proper depth, taking away all throwing lanes for Elon Green. As a result, the pressure finally gets to him. Do a nice job and continue to keep working. Hustle, hustle, hustle. You can see that's number 69. That's Tito Hanna. He gets knocked all the way outside the pocket, but keeps coming, keeps fighting, and eventually sacks Elon Green.
Tito Hanna was saying he only weighs about 215 right now. He's lost 20 pounds since coming to Montreal, saying that the food, weather, stress, maybe nerves have combined to have him shed 20 pounds. He's only 235 at the best, so he's an undersized lineman using his finesse and speed there. But the big sack, a loss of 2. Punt situation for Fleming. It's short again. Winston October on the fly, and then he's hit by a wave of Eskimos. No flags, though, as they were just outside the 5-yard restraining zone. Welcome back to Molson Stadium in Montreal. 13-7 Alouettes. Calvillo back to pass. Rolling. Back. In pursuit now. Gets it away. It's complete at the line of scrimmage to Mike Pringle, and he's hit hard for a gain of maybe a yard or two.
A 40-yard pass.
And look who made the tackle.
40-yard pass for a 1-yard gain. I mean, Calvillo not known for his speed, and he just gets outside. He's flush, goes out to the outside. He's going to take the big run now. You see Albert Reese, the big 6'6" defensive end, trying to put the pressure on him. But as you say, Grant Carter back for that head contact with Mike Pringle earlier to make the play.
Gain is about 3. 5 receiver set now for the Alouettes. 2nd and 7. And it looks like Calvillo is now calling an audible as he moves back in the shotgun, tapping the rear end of his center, throws it away over the head of both Terry Ray, who was covering Mike Pringle. That was interesting. He came up to the center, tapped him, must be a signal, then moved back in the shotgun.
To let him know that he's going to be in a shotgun, so the guy doesn't just bring it up. He's got to get a little depth on his snap. But the big thing he did, as you say, he did audible. And the reason he audible was Franz Clarkson, the free safety of Edmonton, walked up to the line of scrimmage. He saw it, knew they were going to bring the blitz, figured out, change the play, let's get one-on-one coverage, see if we can dump the pass off.
Baker, of course, faking the last punt, running it, setting up that touchdown drive. Here, Mobley and Terry Vaughn back to receive. This time he'll boot it. A high spiral back to Vaughn at his 15-yard line. Vaughn gets through a couple of blocks and then is hit hard. Shy of the 30-yard line. Sheldon Benoit on the tackle for the Alouettes. A 48-yard punt from Baker and a 13-yard return.
I see Elon Green coming back on the field.
Last 3 drives, he's only managed to put together 7 plays.
And the biggest thing is he started off really in a great rhythm. He's finding his receivers. You see backup quarterback John Crawley played well in his relief in BC last week.
Yes, engineering 3 overtime touchdowns in that thriller, a 49-42 win over the BC Lions. The Lions with 2 heartbreaking defeats in a row. They're playing later today against Winnipeg. Green now passing. It's complete to Terry Vaughn, who slides low to make the reception at about the 35-yard line. Don Matthews comfortable that he has a backup quarterback who can come in and run this team. We saw with Hamilton how tough it is when you don't have somebody with experience the other day with Billy Dickin and Todd Bankhead. There are the signals coming from the bench now from Crowley. As we mentioned earlier, Nealon Green asking that some plays be called now as he gets some help from the bench. Young quarterback. The 2nd year at the helm here. 2nd and 2. Shotgun. Handoff to Mark Nora. I don't know. It's very close. I'm not sure he got there. Sylvester Miller on the tackle for the Alouettes. It'll be close, and we'll have a measurement when we come back to Montreal, where the home team's up by 6. Welcome back to Montreal in our cozy confines up here in the press boxes. Not that lavish, but good sight lines here. That's one of the great things.
I've always wanted to call a game from the ice box.
Bit chilly. You've got the coat back on. I know you wanted to cut the sleeves off earlier today to show the guns, but
I just figured they'd have to buy me a new suit jacket.
Last 2 punts from Fleming have been 28 yards and 32 short shanks. He'll be standing at about his 23 here. October. And Haskins back to receive this punt. Fleming taking his time. Gets a spiral with a good rush. Again, it's short. Caught by Haskins at the 40. Breaks 1 tackle. Still going outside. Haskins is outside. There's nobody back. Haskins down the sideline, but there are flags on the play. Haskins, touchdown, Montreal. But this could be coming back.
Well, we saw Alfonso Roundtree and Irvin Smith having a chat with the referee who threw the flag, but to no avail. It looks like it is coming all the way back.
70-yard return.
Montreal, number 90. First down.
It's coming back.
Swift Birch with the call.
The right,
On the right
side
you'll see it coming in. Just at the top of your screen right there. Does a nice job. Referee, right spot to throw the flag. Got to have the helmet in front of the jersey, not behind it.
So Swift Birch charged with the illegal block, and that nullifies an electrifying 70-yard punt return for a touchdown. Would have been his third this year for the Alouettes. First down. Calvillo, play action, bootlegs, naked bootleg. Intended for Cahoon. It's caught. He breaks a tackle and then gets the first down. So Ben Cahoon out of Brigham Young University, the small guy with the Velcro hands, and a big catch, first down.
And a nice job of Calvillo of mixing the ball up already. We've seen him go to Alexander. We've seen him go to climbing in the middle. He's going back to the outside. He's really spreading that Edmonton defense all the way around.
Calvillo's buying himself all kinds of time with the play action and rollouts. 13-yard gain, hand up the middle. Pringle now with speed. Pringle and a first down, Alouettes. Very close to a first down. It crossed the center field mark.
Well, he's just done everything this first half. I mean, just take a look what he's done. Nice block allowing Calvillo to get to the outside. Of course, the touchdown when he gets the ball in the red zone. And of course, he can catch the football coming out of the backfield.
First and 10, Alouettes. Calvillo with time. Going deep down the far side. It's Cahoon again. He's got it! Ben Cahoon has got it at the 5. Edwards makes the tackle. Close coverage.
One-on-one. Cahoon does not have blazing speed. What does he have? He's got great moves. He turns Eric Edwards around, gets the necessary separation, and does a wonderful job of getting in behind number 24, Eric Edwards, and makes a wonderful catch. He's got great hands. You said Velcro. I believe that's entirely true. If it's near him, he'll catch it.
44-yard reception. Great eyes, good hands. 1 week ago, he got behind Gerald Vaughn for a 73-yard touchdown. First down, Alouettes. Hand off Pringle with a head of speed. Very close to the goal line on first down. Pringle moving with authority.
And to go back to Cahoon, I've talked to defensive backs around the league. They say he doesn't have speed. We're not worried about him blowing by us, but he continually does it because he just turns him around.
Well, they like to get him in what they call a bunch coverage. They get him away from the wide side of the field. They confuse the defense by lining him up where he normally doesn't line up. And it worked again. Second down and goal. Montreal ball on the Edmonton 2-yard line. Calvillo, play action, option, Pringle, touchdown, Alouettes. Mike Pringle with his 16th rushing touchdown of the season.
Well, this is just absolutely executed. I mean, they're running an option play. Play action option. I mean, you got to love this. Calvillo just comes to the outside. He's got an option to take it himself. He waits till the defensive line commit to him. Once they commit to him, he pitches the ball out to Pringle. But what is not shown is Bruno Heppel, an absolutely wonderful block at the point of attack, allowing Mike Pringle to come back inside. That's just a great job of execution by the Montreal offense in the red zone. And that's the second time we've seen them do wonderful things down there, as opposed to the first time they were in the red zone and they had to kick 2 field goals.
Terry Baker's convert is good. And Mike Pringle's single season high 16th rushing touchdown as the Alouettes leading 27.
Well, it's just a pitch. You know what? You see at the last part of your thing, I mean, Bruno Heppel does a great job coming out. Look at his option. Once they commit to him, get the ball. Now 33 comes right in your screen. A wonderful job of blocking at the point of attack on Shannon Garrett, the cornerback for Edmonton, allowing Pringle to turn that back upside. And they gotta love it, man.
Pringle catching his breath on the bench. There's Bruno Heppel, his leading man. And this backfield has been fired up. Pringle clearly outplaying Mark Nora, his counterpart in Edmonton.
And one thing that Montreal's really doing is they're doing a great job of mixing up the plays. Little play action, little out passes. Down the middle, they're beating the zone coverage. They go deep to Cahoon. They're doing it all right now, and they're doing it very well.
Pringle coming back with a vengeance. Remember, it was his Edmonton team that put him out with that shoulder injury earlier in the season. 20-7 with 1 minute and 5 seconds to go in the first half. Terry Vaughn and Signor Mobley back for Edmonton. It's Vaughn at the 15-yard line. Terry Vaughn jigging, breaks some tackles, finally gets over the 40. Some good open field running, and he's tackled at the 43-yard line. A 29-yard return for Terry Vaughn in good field position for the Eskimos. Coming up on the CFL on CBC at the half, we'll profile Ricky Walters, the Edmonton high school player who made good with his team here, and we'll also have the big man's pro tips and then a preview of the second half of our Thanksgiving Day doubleheader. It's the Bombers and BC Lions from BC Place.
I hope somebody sends us some turkey just so we can keep warm by holding it.
What do you got on the pro tips today?
It's a surprise.
It's a big surprise. 4 receivers wide side. Nealon Green pressured, looking for an opening to escape. He'll get a few, and then hauled down again. It was the newcomer, Tito Hanna.
But they're doing a great job of bringing the linebackers. Every time it's first down, Edmonton has characteristically handed the football off. As a result, the linebackers, Montreal, are playing tight to the defensive line. When he brings the ball back and tries to throw now, they're bringing the blitz. They bring the blitz, they use their quickness, and they surround him quickly.
2nd and 8. Time ticking here. Tough situation for a young quarterback. Shotgun. Green flushed again. In trouble. He'll go down. Elon Green tackled right at the line of scrimmage. And it was Sylvester Miller, the tackle for the Alouettes, to end another drive. 2 and out.
Well, we talked about the two ends. I mean, Sylvester Miller's at the top of your screen. I mean, he's just going to fight off his block again. Number 58 coming in there right now. Tito Hanna the other end. We talked about these guys both light in the backside. Don't weigh a whole lot. As you say, Tito Hanna only weighed 215 pounds. 215, not 250. And Sylvester Miller, these guys are doing a great job of getting after him, using their quickness, and staying after him, and not allowing Nealon Green to find any crack in the defense to take off with the football.
So Fleming will punt again. The Eskimos, who showed early success moving the ball, have stalled here in the second quarter. 30 seconds to go until halftime. Winston October is the lone man back for the Alouettes. Fleming with time, another shank. Short, bouncing. On one hop, it's October. October lassoed by Hensey Charles and down immediately. 35-yard punt and a 4-yard return, but the punts from Fleming have been very short.
He really has had trouble. It's almost like he's dropping it because he's getting knuckleballs. They're not even anything close resembling a spiral, and as a result, the ball is not traveling very far at all, coming down shallow, as you say. And it's not like he's even getting a lot of height on it to allow his team to get down. I mean, they're going at a mid-range distance, 35 yards, as you say, on the last kick.
Anthony Calvillo, Charlie Tapp saying the other day he's in 3 hours before his teammates doing film study work. He has really taken this job as the first-string quarterback to heart. Played very well. Calvillo is complete to Pringle out of the backfield. He's hit hard by Terry Ray, filling from the linebacker position.
I like talking to him yesterday at the meeting, and I said, do you ever talk to your offensive lineman? He says, what are you, crazy? He says, I'm on their good side. He said, I might every once in a while give him a glare or a look. He says, but other than that, I don't say a word to him.
Well, he said his success in Montreal is attributed to this O-line. Here's an outside blitz. Trouble now for Calvillo, and he's sacked. Speaking of the O-line, as a few get through.
Well, just like we put the goaltender Jinx on a shutout there. They've done a great job, but as you say, Edmonton secondary takes the receivers right out of the game. Calvillo has to hold on to the football, and eventually the big boys up front wrap up Calvillo for a sack.
25th sack against the Alouettes this season, 3rd in the CFL in that department, with 8.6 seconds to go in this first half.
Be alert!
And they'll run the clock down.
Be alert!
Here, the Edmonton bench saying, be alert. You just never know what could happen. They'll run the clock to 0 and take a knee. And the Alouettes, on the strength of a couple of big Mike Pringle touchdowns on the ground, have the lead 20-7 at the half here on Thanksgiving Day Monday. Let's go down to the sidelines. Here's Peter with Don Matthews.
Coach Matthews, not really the first half you wanted. What do you have to do to get back in this contest?
Well, we have to start executing like we did the first couple of drives that we had. I thought we did a very good job. Then we sort of got away from that. We're going to have to regroup inside and just go back to things that work for us.
The big question is, how's Nealon doing? How's that knee? Is it going to hold up for this game?
Oh, he's 100%.
Okay, there you have it. We're at the half here at Molson Stadium. The Montreal Alouettes leading by a count of 20-7. We'll be back with more of the CFL on CBC right after these messages.
This holiday Monday.
Welcome back to Molson Stadium here in Montreal. We got a jam-packed crowd here, and they're loving this football game this afternoon. You know, the Edmonton Eskimos, they have a nice core of receivers. They got Kes McCorvey, Terry Vaughn, but one player who's really stepping up this season is Ricky Walters, the hometown boy from Edmonton, having his best season in the CFL.
What's good about being from Edmonton, playing for the Eskimos? I think everybody growing up in the 80s, I think across Canada, they wanted to, you know, whether they hated the Eskimos or they loved the Eskimos, I think everybody knew who they were. They had such great players here, great teams here, the 5-in-a-row teams. And being from Edmonton during that time was, you couldn't ask for anything better being a young kid. Like the Oilers were great at that time. They still had the great Oilers teams, and the Eskimos were dominating. So growing up in that area, we were downtown celebrating a lot of championships back then.
And he turned the corner. Whoa! Rick Walters.
Being a special teams player, I think people don't really notice them very much until they get a holding call or make a big hit. But it's one of the elements of the game that sometimes goes unnoticed, but it's a huge part of the game. I know Henry Gizmo Williams on our team says I'm the luckiest guy in the CFL because whenever there's a ball on the ground, I always seem to kind of be around the ball for some reason. And I think I probably scored about 4 or 5 touchdowns just on special teams. And we pride ourselves here in Edmonton in being a good special teams team and just trying to make plays. And I think it comes back to what I was talking about earlier, just being a playmaker, if it's not on offense, you want to be able to do something that helps decide the game on special teams. The level of competition is not quite as high as it is in the States. And I think that's the biggest difference from Canadian kids and American kids. And it takes you a few years to catch up in terms of the coaching level and the level of competition. And so about your 3rd, 4th, 5th year, you start to catch up to everybody. And so that one of the few regrets I've ever had is just that I didn't get to show those skills in Saskatchewan, but I can show them here in hometown Edmonton. So it's probably even better that way. It's every kid's dream to be a professional athlete, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm living out my dream right now.
The Edmonton boy, Ricky Walters, started the scoring in this game with a TD. But at the half, it's Montreal leading Edmonton 20-7. We'll be back with more of the CFL on CBC right after these messages.
Pro Tips with Chris Walby. Brought to you by Dodge.
Hey, welcome to Pro Tips. Drop back, drop back, drop back. As an offensive lineman, we want a change-up. To show you today a change-up, All-Star Pierre Berchevaux of the Montreal Alouettes.
Thank you, Chris. And here with me, I've got teammate Steve Charbonneau who's going to help me out. And like Chris mentioned, you know, after like a few passing plays in a row, if you keep getting bull rush all the time, you want to change the tempo, and you want to make that defensive lineman think. So a great technique to use is called the chop block, also the cut block. And what you want to do is you go into your set, you set, and then you attack at the leg level. You got to be at the thigh level. You keep your head up, and you keep your legs driving. So you keep driving into him, so he can go down. So the mistake that sometimes the offensive lineman will do, and you want to avoid, is if you go and you put your head down, so your whole body is going forward, and defensive linemen are being taught to read that technique. So if they see your head going down, they're going to use your momentum to avoid you and go to the quarterback.
I tell you, that is a great tip. And that just tells me and the viewing audience why offensive linemen are really reincarnated from lumberjacks. See you next time.
We're at the half here at Molson Stadium. The Montreal Alouettes leading the Edmonton Eskimos by a count of 20-7. Right after this game, we're going to go to the West Coast. Another big matchup, the BC Lions taking on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Both those teams jockeying for position for playoff spots. With a preview on the game, let's go to Steve Armitage.
The Bombers' last road win was last year in BC. Troy Westwood was a key, and Mo El-Wanabe was still a Lion. And Louis Pasaglia was up to his old tricks and yet to announce his plans to retire at the end of this season. Will he have more surprises for the Bombers this time around? Milt Stegall did in '99. He showcased his catching ability and great speed in going 96 yards for the touchdown. He scored 10 times this season, and he's 45 yards shy of 1,000. He's a Winnipeg threat when they have the ball. And so is the former Lion, Kahari Jones, now the Bombers' starting quarterback. Sean Millington, the former Bomber, now runs for his old team in BC. Confused? You won't be when you watch the Lions host the Blue Bombers at 4 Eastern.
Yes, let's go upstairs now to Mark and Chris as we get first half highlights.
Thanks a lot, Peter. Well, the Eskimos got off to a good start. Then they seem to have fallen apart. Their running game is not setting up the pass. On the other hand, the Alouettes are going great guns.
Well, they started out slow, and I think Edmonton is being very predictable right now. They did a good job of mixing it up on their first drive. They had a 7-play drive. They moved the ball around. They ran the ball a little bit. But Nealon Green was getting to the outside. Right now, he's just sitting in a pocket, and that's what's killing him.
Well, the last 5 drives, they've been 11 plays. It's 2 and out every drive.
Except for the first drive. The fact is, I mean, they do a nice job of just getting this football. This is their first drive of the game. Does a nice job of catching the football. Does the rest on his own of eluding tacklers and taking it into the end zone for the early Edmonton lead.
Then there was this tremendous fake punt here by Terry Baker. Second home game in a row he's done that. That helped overcome 2 stalled drives inside the 10, and finally they put it in the end zone.
Well, that was right. They led that one to a touchdown. Here's the other touchdown. The second one by Mike Pringle does a nice job. It's a little option play by Anthony Cavillo. Does a great job of getting it. Gets great blocks at the point of attack, and that's what's happening. Right now, Montreal is using a wide mix of their offense, mixing it up, confusing Edmonton. Edmonton, on the other hand, looks very stagnant and very predictable.
Mike Pringle with 2 touchdowns in the first half, 16 so far, a league-leading stat in the CFL.
Great first half. Give me your assessment on it.
Well, it's a good first half. We had a lot of good plays, and our defense, that was key, stopping the run. I got an excellent running back, as you know, in Martin Orr, and I thought we've controlled the running game pretty good. We got 30 more minutes of football. You know how this is in the CFL. This is like an eternity.
Mike Pringle was kind of upset in the early going of the contest. He's got 2 touchdowns. He's got to be a happy camper now.
Well, you know, we're just trying to run our offense. AC pulled the ball one time when he had a nice hole there. But, you know, that's part of it. Mike just needs to keep doing what he's doing. He's doing it pretty well.
Okay, best of luck, Coach Taft.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, Charlie Taft referring to AC pulling the ball. That was that play. It looked like 1st and 6. 1st and goal from the 6, and he ran with it, got pushed out of bounds, and that's when Pringle was so ticked off.
Yeah, we saw Mike Pringle on the bench, and he's very upset.
But the real story of this football game, and again, Taft talking about that, this young and undersized defensive line for the Alouettes stopping Mark Nora.
Well, most definitely. That was one of his concerns coming into the game. I mean, he's losing Filion. He's losing Charbonneau. He's got to start a newcomer, basically, and they're doing a good job right now.
Sean Fleming kicking off. It's Haskins at his own 15. Haskins is the seam. He's up the middle. The kicker's the only man back. Here comes another Edmonton tackler. Will push him out of bounds. Oh, my goodness. Clarkson got back. The safety, but not until a 68-yard return by Haskins right up the middle.
Just a nice job of finding the seam. He's just going to take it to the right and break it back up against the grain. As he breaks it up, finds a little bit of opening, beats the tackle attempt by Sean Fleming, and it becomes a foot race. Just comes through. I mean, this is what you want to do, is set it up like you're going to run it to the right side of the field and break back against the flow. Does a wonderful job of doing that, finding the seam, getting to the outside, and as you say, if Franz Clarkson doesn't get over there, it is a touchdown.
Great field position for the Alouettes on this first series of the second half. Pringle right through the middle of the defense. third touchdown of the game and 17th of the season.
Just a straight, deep dive handoff play. Let him find the hole. He goes to the left side behind Okeke Bergeron. Chu breaks through that line, and then no one's going to catch him as he trots into the end zone. But as you say, what a way to come out in the second half. I mean, Don Matthews is almost in shock going, hey guys, this is not what we can't have. We can't have this right now.
100 yards on 2 plays. A 68-yard return by Haskins and the 32-yard run by Pringle. The point after from Terry Baker is good, and suddenly it's a 20-point lead for the Alouettes, leading 27-7 over the Eskimos.
Well, I mean, he just doesn't, he gets the ball deep enough that he allows the offensive lineman to take the defenders out of the picture, allowing him to find a seam. I mean, watch these guys right here. They get over here, create the seam, they block, overblock, take it to the right. He gets a huge hole. And why does he get a huge hole? Because the center, Brian Chu, doesn't allow the guy to come over. This is just a nice job of cutting back. Look at Chu right there. Up the field, number 68. Does a great job at the point of attack. Allows him. I mean, he has been playing. Here's a guy that was undersized at the guard position, Brian Chu. They moved him to center. In the first day of training camp with Mike Sutherland, the starter for a number of years, the center, normal center, hurt his hand. And ever since there, Mike Sutherland will not play center again. They say, you know what? This guy is a perfect center. He's got good hands, he's quick, and he gets around the corner. And I tell you what, Mike Pringle's going to be buying these boys another dinner because they were opening some huge holes.
Mike Pringle was visibly upset in the first half when he didn't get his number called. What he thought was a big hole, a touchdown situation. Calvillo pulled it, got pushed out of bounds. Got 3 now. How about Haskins? An electrifying return of 68. Vaughn now with the ball, returning this kickoff. Vaughn outside and is hammered short of the 40-yard line. The return is 18 yards by Terry Vaughn. Mike Pringle continues to set the standard.
Well, I mean, you look at the yards rushing. George Reed, obviously the heir apparent, the king, 13 years. But look what Mike Pringle's done in 9 years, 11,924 yards. I mean, just doing it all. It's interesting that the fourth leading rusher is a quarterback, Damon Allen. That shows you how good he can scramble.
Pringle moving into second position all time this season. The way he's built, his fitness, he has a chance for George Reed's record. Nealon Green will run. Flush from the pocket. He'll dive, but will be short of the first down. A good run on first down. This is what the Eskimos need to do, is to generate first down offense.
Well, you've got to utilize his weapon. I mean, no, he can throw the football, but he's got great legs. He can take off with the football. They did a wonderful job of surrounding him in the first half. I mean, 7 for 10, 10 for 15. But the stats that's not shown here, right here on Nealon Green's stat, is the fact that he's being constantly harassed by this undersized Montreal defensive line.
Passing 70%, good numbers. They've got to get the run going, and once again, up the gut, it's stopped, and I think they're short of the first down marker.
Well, they're just, I mean, Montreal's defense is reading this play before it actually even happens. The linebacking crew are watching this. As the linebackers see it, they come up right to the defensive line. See John Matthews barking and signals.
It is 3rd and 1. And so they will go for it, their third gamble of the game. And they're pumping in crowd noise on the speakers here at Molson Stadium. They try to throw off Nealon Green. They just shut it off. A yard to go, 3rd down gamble. Green is caught behind the line of scrimmage. He's still going though, breaks the tackle. Green finally tackled, sacked behind the line of scrimmage. Baron Miles makes the tackle for the Alouettes, and the 3rd down gamble is foiled. The Alouettes will take over inside Edmonton territory when we come back. Baron Miles, the ball hawk out of Nebraska, with a big sack, forcing the 2nd turnover of the game by the Eskimos, and tremendous field position now as Montreal takes over first down. This Edmonton defense leading the CFL in interceptions with 23. 3 of those going to Miles, and now swarming and sacking the best running quarterback in the league, Nealon Green. First down, Alouettes. Play action. action now. Flags are down deep. Cavill throwing deep. It's complete. Touchdown to Jock Climby. But flags are down. On close coverage, Climby comes up with it.
Well, I think they're going to call procedure on this play, and Edmonton's indicating that that will indeed be the call. But what a throw by Cavill, right on the money.
Offside, Montreal, number 88, repeat first down.
Alexander is offside, lining up at the slot back position.
But again, unbelievable. I mean, the throw right on the money, hitting him right in stride. Edmonton very fortunate that Alexander jumped off on that procedure call, or they'd be down even more.
Huge strike there, so it's 1st and 15 on the offside call. Calvillo back to pass again. He's got time. Over top. It's complete to Tyree Davis. Pushed out of bounds inside the 21-yard line. And so Montreal continues to roll on offense.
They are just doing, I mean, they're getting all kinds of time. It's just a brush. Terry Ray actually has a shot and hits him, Tyree Davis, as he releases. But he just finds the opening and does it. I mean, it's just great. But what brought this about? The turnover. Take a look at these guys. Look at your linebackers. Your 3 linebackers are right there. All they are, they're right on the line of scrimmage. They're not even playing the pass. I know it's 3rd and short, but they're not respecting the pass at all. They do a great job, as Mark Lee said, swarming.
Here's Pringle outside. Daylight. And finally forced out of bounds. But not until he gets another first down for the Alouettes. Now running right through the heart of this Edmonton defense. They can't stop him.
Well, he can go inside, he can go outside. It's all by the big offensive line in the lead block. Again, Heppel, nice job of filling inside. Nobody touches Pringle till he's 6 yards around the corner. That's the kind of job they're doing on that O-line.
Tyree Davis with a good block on Shannon Garrett to help spring more yards for Pringle. And it's 1st and goal. The ball just outside the Edmonton 6-yard line. The running game dominated by the Alouettes and the league's leading rusher, Pringle. He gets the ball again. Pringle up the middle. Flags are down. He's stacked up after a short gain on the play. But more flags are down. Pringle, who we mentioned earlier, nursing a hamstring pull at the beginning of the week, missing practice, and he has looked terrific.
Well, I'll tell you
what. Edmonton, number 29. First down repeated.
Jerome Peterson. Offside. Here's Pringle. Listen to him hit the hole. I think he put his head into the back of Bruno Heppel on that one.
Well, that's what he said. He knows he's got to go to a certain spot. He goes 100 miles an hour to that spot.
1st and goal now. The ball on the 3-yard line of the Eskimos. Calvillo fakes, pitches out to Pringle. Nobody there as he puts his head down. Touchdown, Montreal. Mike Pringle with his 4th touchdown of the game.
Well, you just got to like this reverse. Cavill goes to the right and pitches the ball to the left. He freezes the defense just for that instant. It's all the time that Mike Pringle needs as he takes it in. Little fake to Heppel. Dish it out to Pringle. Let him do the rest. And I tell you what, he's going to be hard to bring down. He smells the goal line. He's that close to pay dirt.
Well, the Larks faithful here enjoying this one, standing for Mike Pringle as he ties a team record with his 4th touchdown of the game.
Well, at this rate, the league record of Corey Philpott's 22 touchdowns might be in jeopardy today.
Mike Pringle with 4 touchdowns on the ground, and it's 34-7 Montreal. Talk about prolific. 3 of Mike Pringle's last 4 carries have been for touchdowns.
That's not a bad stat.
115 yards on the ground. His 5th game this season over 100. The league's leading rusher bandaged, but not bowed here today. Terry Vaughn slides to get underneath the short kickoff from Baker. Breaks the tackle. Vaughn with some blocks. An open field running. And a tremendous run back as he gets to center field. A 28-yard return by Terry Vaughn, subbing for Donnie Ashley.
Well, let's take a look at this. I tell you what, this is the guy we got to look at the play. This is Bertrand Berry, number 90, the defensive end. What happens when Cavill fakes the handoff to Happel? He freezes him. Look at now. That allows Mike Pringle to get outside the defensive end, and it just becomes a short foot race to the end zone.
Tremendous misdirection. Play action there by Calvillo to set up that fourth touchdown for Pringle. In the shotgun, Green now has to pass. They've got to come back. They've got to go to the air. It's complete. And a first down. Terry Vaughn, who just had that return of 28, gets a 12-yard reception and a first down for the Eskimos.
This is something they got to do. I mean, right now, you cannot sit Nealon Green in the pocket. Do not put a guy like this in the pocket. Get him outside, stretch the defense. If nothing's there, take off with the football, because we're right now with 9 minutes and ticking left in the third quarter at a critical time. They've got to answer some of these Montreal offensive points.
There is time, though. That's the plus for Edmonton. Play action to Nora down the middle. It's way behind. Intended for Ed Kesmacorby, but the ball was thrown behind him and incomplete. Second down.
And I know the fact that Nealon Green is your guy. He's the guy, the future of Edmonton. But I'm wondering, in Don Matthews' head, is he starting to think about maybe Dan Crawley coming in?
Well, 3 touchdown passes in overtime last week. You know he can run it up quickly.
Even if it's just for a couple series to let Nealon kind of relax a little bit and see what's going on from the sideline.
Second and 10. Green throwing. It's high, but it's caught by Nigel Williams. Very close to the first down marker. We'll look at the spot. Irv Smith made the tackle as Williams climbed the ladder for that one.
Well, nice job by Nigel Williams of knowing where the yard marker is, taking him past that, and then coming back to the football, going high, as you say, climbing the ladder to come down with that catch in front of Irvin Smith.
They'll bring the chains in for a measurement. Nigel Williams, the 6-year man of the Hamilton Hurricanes junior program, with a big catch, and they will be just short. So another third down situation, and they're going for it. As Daniels comes into the game for Walters, adding more meat in the backfield. Crowley getting the instructions from up top and signaling the plays to Nealon Green. Third down gamble. Remember, they fumbled almost on this position on the field in the first quarter when Nora dropped the ball. It's a quarterback sneak, and it looks like Green will have it.
Well, when you have less than a yard to go, you have to get behind those big boys, Groenwegen, Cunningham, and Princeton, and just let them drive enough to allow you to pick up that half yard you need to keep the drive alive.
Fourth third down gamble by the Eskimos today. 2 have been disastrous, 2 have been good.
Well, he should never be stopped. I mean, that's not even a yard. I mean, that's not even fair. You hate to say it should be automatic, because a lot of times you say that it doesn't happen, but it really should be.
First down, Eskimos. Threatening now for the first time since the opening quarter of this game. Nealon Green with lots of time. Downfield, he had a man open. McCorvey was wide open, and the ball was overthrown, and it looked like McCorvey either stopped running or his strides got too big.
Well, I tell you what, it just didn't look like they're on the same page right now, and you see Nealon Green slapping his hands. Does a great job. Kes McCorvey, look at that, just can't catch up to the football. This has been the story of the Edmonton offense. After their first drive, they've really struggled to make the connection between quarterback and receiver.
And you can see Nealon Green really upset because McCorvey was open and the ball was on the money. He stopped running. Second down and 10. Green pumps once, looks to his right now, going deep for McCorvey down the sideline, and it's overthrown and incomplete.
Well, again, he gets one-on-one coverage. We're going to get Davis Sanchez. This gets behind Barron Miles. This is what they're looking. They're trying to go deep. They're trying to get some points early right now. But as you say, Nealon Green, again, not finding the receiver. A little overthrown in that time.
Well, Chris, they're going to go for it here. Third and 10. The 5th third down gamble of the game for the Eskimos. With 7:42 and ticking left to go in the third quarter. They're cranking up the crowd noise on the speakers again. As Nealon Green takes the ball in the shotgun. Green, 3rd and 10, across the middle. It's incomplete. Nigel Williams had his hands on it momentarily, but there was tremendous coverage from the Montreal defensive backfield. And so the Eskimos will turn the ball over on downs, trailing 34-7. Kicker Sean Fleming standing on the sidelines, but not called into play on that last third down situation. 3rd and 10. The Eskimos go for it. The ball on the 32. It would have been a 39 or 40-yard attempt. What do you think of that decision not to put points on the board?
Well, I think anytime you're there and that close and you got to make up that much yard, it's not like it's a 3rd and short. It puts a lot of strain. I think you got to take away any points you can.
Calvillo calling audibles now. Goes from the shotgun up behind the center. Hands off to Thomas Haskins up the middle. Mike Pringle was lined up in the wide out position on that play. The short gain as Grant Carter makes the tackle. It'll be 2nd and about 6 yards.
Well, it's just another example of the luxury that Montreal has, having the 2 backs that they have, the talented backs, Mike Pringle, of course, Thomas Haskins. 2 very different styles of running. One more of a power back, one more of a slasher in Thomas Haskins, but they can interchange them both at the receiver slot back position and at the running back position.
Again, an audible from Calvillo. Shotgun, rolling the pocket right, going deep downfield for Climby. He was open, but the ball was overthrown, and the Ottawa lawyer can't reel it in.
Well, he can't catch that case, but I'll tell you what, the nicest thing about it, Calvillo has got the experience. We talked about the fact earlier that he's in 3 hours before watching film. He breaks down the film all the time. He sees to bring in Clarkson, the safety blitz. He says, bring him in. See, Thomas Haskins comes to the bottom of the screen. Now he's got nobody in the middle. The receiver, Jock Climby, breaks it into the middle, but unfortunately the ball can't be caught by him, but he's got steps on a defender's stat.
So film work paying off on the read. Unfortunately, the ball overthrown. Punt situation for the Alouettes. Mobley and Vaughn back to return this punt. Baker gets it away. And it looks like the Eskimos are 1 man short. Here's Vaughn. Cuts up, breaks a tackle, still going. Finally, Stefan Reed brings him down, stringing him wide side on that return. 3 yards on the return by Vaughn.
Whatever the project, with Mastercraft power tools, nothing can stand in your way. Mastercraft, it's tough stuff.
Don Matthews with a young quarterback, helping to call plays from the sideline. He's got to score, and he's got to score fast now with time ticking here in the 3rd quarter, down 34-7. Fake handoff, Nora. He'll get a screen pass, breaks a tackle of Reed, and is forced out of bounds by Sheldon Benoit. So the Eskimos reach into their bag of tricks.
Another way to just get Mark Nora the football, to swing him out one-on-one, throw the ball to him, make the first guy miss, which he does, Stefan Reed. And of course, the middle linebacker, Sheldon Benoit, goes over and pushes him out. I mean, this is what's happening. We talked about Montreal. They're really flying to the football right now. He beats Stefan Reed, but Benoit gets over there in time to limit the game to half a yard.
Half a yard. They strung that play out. They went east and west instead of north and south. It'll be 2nd and about 10. Green in the shotgun. Here comes the rush. Rolling. Flush. Green gets away and throws the ball away. Nora was the nearest eligible receiver in the area.
And they're calling for grounding the football. The ball didn't go over the original line of scrimmage.
And so Nealon Green is flushed and rattled again by this front 4 of the Alouettes. A reminder coming up right after this football game. It's the Blue Bombers and the Lions from BC Place Stadium in Vancouver. And a penalty on that last play, a late flag.
Edmonton, number 15.
That's an awfully late flag.
Oh, no, that's what we talked about, Mark. The fact was they didn't throw the flag, but if you're watching it, you can see the fact that when he got away from the scramble, he threw the football. Now, the new rule is the ball has to go over the original line of scrimmage, or else it will be called grounding. He doesn't get it over there. The referees confer. They make the right decision by throwing the flag.
So Nealon Green having trouble now finding receivers, and with the penalty, Sean Fleming, who's been having trouble with his punts, the distance, standing inside his own 15. Haskins back again, a short punt. Haskins has it. at the 43. Breaks a tackle up the middle. Haskins still going. Finally pulled down by Henty Charles. But center field position for the Alouettes to start this drive. A 39-yard punt and a 12-yard return.
Well, Mike Pringles, he comes on. What a game this guy's had. I mean, 4 touchdowns already today. I mean, he can do it all. He just comes upside, fights through for a first touchdown, gets a little option play, breaks it inside, another touchdown, follows the running back. Look at a hole there. That was the opening in the second half. I mean, he just does everything, and of course, it'll misdirection, comes back over, and one of the things you notice is most of the time he's not getting hit until he's in the end zone.
All with 4 touchdowns, tying the Montreal record held by Pat Abruzzi, set in 1955. So with one more, the way things are going, it's a good chance he'll set a new team record. First down at center field, Alouettes. An unusual formation on the wide side with 3 receivers bunched, but the play is blown down, and it looks like a time count violation against Calvillo.
Well, it is a time count.
Time count violation. Montreal, number 13, repeat first down.
And one of the things you mentioned earlier, they usually use Ben Cahoon in that, is they bunch the receivers up and they just spread them all over the place, and they try to confuse the defensive backs and linebackers who are in coverage over there.
Sylvain Girard is now in for Cahoon, number 3, lining up at the wideout position. Haskins in motion. Calvillo will dump it off, swinging it to Haskins. He's got a block, and he's outside. Breaks the tackle of Jerome Peterson and is forced out of bounds, shy of the first down on a 1st and 15 situation, but a big gain.
Well, they just do everything. I mean, they're coming out the middle, but one of the things Calvillo's done all day is stretch this defense not only vertically, but side to side. Just a quick little dump pass out. Let's use Thomas Haskins' speed. Get up to the outside. As you see, Peterson, the last attempt, just enough to force him out of bounds. But they're spreading the defenders out.
3 receivers to the wide side now for the Alouettes. Second down and 3. Hand off to Pringle. He's hit hard in the backfield. Breaks the tackle. Finds daylight and gets to the 40-yard line. What strength. Stallings had his meat hooks on him, but couldn't bring him down.
Well, Stallings, the 5th-year NFL veteran, getting a first taste of Michael Pringle's leg strength as he wraps him up in the backfield, but he just keeps coming and fighting through and picks up another first down. You can see Mike Pringle, 4 touchdowns, tying Pat Abruzzi's record, 1955 with 4. And again, look who owns the next 2. Mike Pringle and Mike Pringle.
Calvillo sacked. Terry Ray blitzing from his linebacker position, gets through and knocks Calvillo down.
One of the first times today that they brought the blitz and were successful. Most of the times they've run that, Montreal's done a great job of picking it up and actually burning them for it. This time Terry Ray comes through, sacks Calvillo.
Ray, one of the fastest linebackers in the CFL, had a bruised thigh last week, worked through it in practice, and has been pursuing with tremendous speed here today. So it's second down and long. 6 receiver set for the Alouettes. 4 wide side right. Calvillo moving the pocket right. And his pass is short on the blitz. He was hurried, and it's a punting situation.
Well, they're bringing everybody. Again, Franz Clarkson coming in. The safety. Got a safety blitz. They bring backside.
Calvillo was down for he was down for a bit there, and he's limping.
But they're bringing everybody. You can see there's Carter coming right now at 93.
Oh, Williams.
Just crunches him. Ben Williams sends him hard to the ground, and as you say, Calvillo getting up a little gingerly.
Helped up by a teammate, and he's still not quite yet at the sideline, slowly making his way. And Stanley Jackson, the backup, is warming up on the Montreal sideline with a 34-7 lead. They may play this one conservatively if, in fact,
you know what?
There's an injury.
Every team will look at the Danny McManus story now, the situation that happened to him, even though it was early in the game, and wonder. And we have a good lead. We can allow the luxury of putting Stanley in there.
Baker with a big punt, putting Vaughn to his own 2-yard line, and he doesn't get much more. He's surrounded by a host of Alouette tacklers for an 8-yard return. Green scrambling now for his life and forced out of bounds for a short gain on the play, if any, very close to the line of scrimmage. As he continues to have trouble making up his mind on his first read and then his flush from the pocket.
Absolutely. They're doing a great job of moving people around in the secondary. Montreal is. And when they do get the right cover guys, they are like glue on the receivers, not allowing anybody to come free. As a result, Nealon Green is having time and time again to pull the football down and try and get whatever he can himself.
No gain on the play on the scramble by Green. 2nd and 10. Ball at the 12-yard line. Green with time now. Throwing. It's complete to Nigel Williams. Very close to a first down. Are they going to wave it off? Yes, they're saying it's incomplete. So Williams must have trapped the ball.
Again, another low throw. He's in the right direction. He makes the right read this time. Nigel Williams working, comes back against Irv Smith, does a nice job of coming back to the football, but the ball, again, thrown low. Gets good protection from the offensive line. Sean Daniels doing a real nice job on Tito Hanna. Reaction by Nealon Green.
Well, Nigel Williams was wide open. The ball was underthrown. He had his back to us. Appeared to have gone down to make the catch, but the official ruling that the ball contacted the surface of the turf. And so Fleming now punting from his goal line. Just gets it away. Just beat the block of Heppel. And out it goes out of bounds as Haskins lets it go at the 53-yard line.
Mastercraft's tools can make even the biggest weekend project seem like a ride in the park. Mastercraft. It's tough stuff.
Anthony Calvillo will stay in the game. The injury apparently not enough to keep him out, although Stanley Jackson was warming up on the bench. He's had a terrific game running this offense.
I think they might just let him go one more series. Give Stanley Jackson a little bit more time to warm up. You see him putting the coat back on and then bring him in. Maybe he'll play the fourth quarter.
Again, terrific field position for this first down situation. Alouettes across center field at the Edmonton 53-yard line. Here's the option. Calvillo running with the ball this time, and he squirts through for a good gain on the play.
This might make Charlie Taft say, you know what, Anthony, you know what, we want to keep you in the game as long as we can, but we don't know if we really want you running the option play and keeping it. We'd really like our quarterbacks not to take any hits. And what does he go out and do? He runs the option play, keeps the ball himself, and takes some hits.
Gain is 6. It's 2nd and 4. And they love this in Montreal. They have a huge playbook for second and short situations. They can really dig in. There's another audible as he goes back in the shotgun. Calvillo rushed, and he's sacked. Stallings has the sack for Edmonton as Calvillo couldn't get the ball away quickly.
Well, they weren't fooling anybody. Grant Carter, number 47, coming on a blitz right there. Nice job of Robert Brown getting in there, but as you say, Ramondo Stallings with his first sack all over Anthony Calvillo before he could even sit up to throw that football.
Carter, who took a huge shot in the side of the head from Pringle earlier in the game that left a welt on his jaw, his back, and a force on that play. Forcing the Alouettes to punt. Senior Mobley and Terry Vaughn back to receive. Donnie Ashley, injuring himself in the preseason warm-up 1 week ago, is not in the lineup.
And one of the things we've seen by the Montreal offense is a tendency in the last couple of series to throw the football.
He shanked it. Baker shanked it. It's bouncing back, and it's picked up. There are flags on the play. Provo has the ball, but the Alouettes were within the 5-yard restraining zone. That punt only traveled 19 yards before Dwayne Provo got on it quickly.
And after the no yards penalty, Edmonton will start with very good field position.
Montreal, number 18, first down.
The ball is now being placed at the 44-yard line, so basically about 9 yards difference from the line of scrimmage. So tremendous field position for the Eskimos. And that would have been the last play of the third quarter, but because of the penalty, you can't end the quarter on a penalty. They'll play this before they change ends. Not much wind a factor here today at all. The Eskimos will be going into the wind slightly in the fourth. Play action. read nicely. Good pass by Nealon Green to McCorvey as he was surrounded on the play by Tito Hanna. It's complete. It'll be 2nd and 4, and we'll change ends with 1 quarter left to go. The Eskimos are down deep, trailing the hometown Alouettes 34-7. A second heaping helping of CFL football on Thanksgiving Day Monday as we look at live pictures of Steve Verrato, the BC Lions head coach. They get set to play host to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, who have 13 players who used to play for the Lions. A homecoming for them. Dave Ritchie hoping to win this one as the Argonauts prevailing over Hamilton, moving to within 1 point of the Blue Bombers in that 3rd playoff spot in the East.
Well, it'll be interesting to see which Winnipeg team shows up out in Vancouver. Winnipeg hasn't won a game on the road yet.
Damon Allen, who was shaken up 1 week ago, looks like he's fit and ready to play football. Week 13, a tough week for quarterbacks. McManus, Allen, injured along with Green, although he made a comeback this week as well. Completion from Green to Terry Vaughn, and Vaughn breaks some tackles, razzle-dazzle, and a big gain and a 1st down for the Edmonton Eskimos. It's been an eternity since they've had a 1st down.
Well, Terry Vaughn is doing everything he possibly can for this team right now, whether it be returning punts, or catching the football over the middle. He makes a nice job as we see the 3rd quarter stats right here. Obviously a big factor in favor of yards rushing for Montreal. Time of possession very similar, but the 3 turnovers obviously a big key for the Edmonton Eskimos.
101 yards more on the ground for Montreal. There's the handoff. Mark Nora, again, he's found it tough going through the middle of that Montreal line. As we mentioned, an undersized line, a line with all kinds of subs, but it's been playing fantastically today.
Well, they're using their quickness. Swift Birch again on that play, coming in, making the play. Not being overpowered, refusing to be taken one-on-one, playing a shoulder. They're playing angles, and that's what's doing it right now, and they're defeating those angles and making the play on Mark Nora.
Birch moving in from the end position to tackle, saying he was going to use his finesse to help him cope. Done a terrific job. 2nd down and 7. Green passing. It's complete to Ed Hervey, and close to another 1st down. Davis Sanchez making the tackle for the Montreal Alouettes.
A nice job of just taking him inside, coming back to the outside, put the ball in his hands, and he's trying to fight for more yardage. Does a good job of moving the chains.
And Nealon Green has a drive going here. 2 1st downs on this series to start the 4th quarter. Team trailing 34-7. Staying in the shotgun with Nora back. Play action to Nora. It's knocked down. Swift Birch got his hands up in the face of Nealon Green to block that pass.
Well, the leading sackmeister from the Montreal Alouettes, Swift Birch with 8. Just working on him, just coming back inside, working against Tim Princeton. Nice job of putting the paw up right there, deflecting it, even after being picked up by Mark Nora in the backfield.
So pressure from Swift Birch. He's had 5 tackles for losses to go with those 8 sacks this year. 4 receivers to the wide side. Green goes deep. Short side, McCorvey, he dropped the ball! Kes McCorvey open and had the ball go through his hands in the end zone in what looked like a sure touchdown.
Well, he had him turned. He took him to the inside, took him back to the corner. Ball is thrown right on the money. Kes McCorvey leaves his feet to kind of cradle the football, and it actually falls through his hands, but he's going back over, working against Sanchez.
Perhaps he heard footsteps as Lester Smith came over with a ferocious hit.
I just think that the ball went through his hands. He just lost sight of the football for that instance, and as you say, maybe he saw out of his corner of his eye somebody coming, but when you're usually in the end zone, all you can see is that football.
2nd and 10, Eskimos. Green. It's complete to Nigel Williams. Tackle on the play keeps him short of the 1st down as Irv Smith filled quickly.
Well, that's been the big matchup with Nigel Williams working against Irv Smith. Just kind of taking him back and always coming back to the football as a good receiver will do. And
That was sorry, Chris, a third down gamble there. Again, we saw that third down gamble earlier on a 3rd and 10 situation foiled. This is very close for the Eskimos, and they'll bring the sticks in for a measurement. It's short.
Well, this is the thing that's really upsetting. I mean, every time they get a chance and they go for 3rd, they come up just a little short.
Welcome back to Montreal, a 34-7 lead for the Alouettes, and the Eskimos blowing their 3rd down gamble as the home fans are enjoying it. That's the 6th 3rd down gamble they had. There's Larry Smith, the president of the Alouettes, enjoying tremendous crowds here in Montreal, another winning season. Pringle is stacked up. There had to be at least 6 or 7 Eskimo tacklers reading that one.
Well, they're bringing the house on that one. I mean, they know that Mike Pringle in the 4th quarter, especially when the game's kind of getting out, they're going to get the ball to him as often as they can. And Edmonton's going to try and take some saving grace out of this game and try and do the best they can, because this is the 4th quarter, and they got to build on this quarter if they have any hope.
Look at this. 19 yards on 12 rushes. Nora has been silenced. He's getting his head pumped up there, a little bit more air in the helmet from Wayne Manduziak, the equipment manager. Blitz now. Pringle breaks the blitz momentarily and then is hauled down for a loss on the play. Calvillo down.
Well, he's down again on another blitz, and they're not, I mean, this is the 3rd or 4th series we've seen this happen. On 2nd down, Edmonton's bringing the house. Grant Carter's coming, Mobley's coming. They're bringing everybody in. As a result, they're putting great pressure. They can't pick him up. I mean, they're just going to come. Look at Terry Ray coming through, number 28. He's going to have the first shot at him. But then the rest of the guys, led by Grant Carter, Ben Williams, wrap him up. Now you've seen Calvillo go on the ground again. Mark, we've talked about this just moments ago, but how long will you keep Anthony Calvillo in?
Well, you got to wonder, with a lead of 34-7, we saw what happened to Hamilton when McManus missed last game. Charlie Taft will have to make that call. Terry Baker in the end zone will concede a safety here as he runs the clock down and then steps out of touch. So 2 points on the board for the Eskimos.
And you know what you got to like? You got to be impressed with the coaching decision right here by Charlie Taft. That man does a great job. Even though he knows the field position might be a factor, let's give him 2 points and push him farther back and get regrouped again.
Welcome back as we look at the East Division standings. A win today will give Montreal 10 and put them 2 points ahead of Hamilton. That's so important because should these teams finish in a tie in points at the end of the season, even though Montreal would have the better record, they would not get home field advantage because the Tiger Cats got 2 points off overtime losses, and they have won the head-to-head series 2-1.
What they base it on is total points. They look at the points and then interplay between the 2 teams.
Dan Crowley now in at quarterback for the Eskimos, and his pass intended for Ricky Walters goes incomplete. So Crowley getting the call now with 10:51 to go in this football game. Off the bench last week, engineering that overtime victory with 3 touchdown passes against BC, and Green has an ice bag.
Well, Dan Crowley played very well. You can see it's on his throwing hand.
4 receiver set. Crowley in the shotgun will roll out now under pressure. Gets it away. It's too high. Intended for Nigel Williams. And so it's a 3rd and 10 situation, and the punt team is coming on the field.
You know, it looks like it's easy to say up, you know, when you're sitting up here, but it looks very vanilla. I mean, almost the same patterns they're going to when they go to Nigel Williams. He's doing the same route against Irv Smith all day. Take him back one, and I'm coming back toward the football. We've seen it 3 or 4 times.
These are the total yard statistics by quarter. The Eskimos had 109 yards, 19 yards offense in the first quarter, 22 yards in the second, and only 35 in the third. As you mentioned, this offense has lost its spark from the first quarter and has not regained it.
If there was a batter, we would be tossing it.
Haskins, the only man back for the Alouettes. The punt from Fleming, again short, and Haskins running and diving to his knees to make the catch. There's a flag on the play, and a no yards penalty coming when we come back to Montreal.
Mastercraft Power Tools can give you the jump you need on any backyard project. Mastercraft, it's tough stuff.
Larry Smith in a shoulder-to-shoulder situation. It's very crowded in this stadium, another sellout, and we're talking to him the other day, and they were saying how scarcity of seats helps to make an Alouette ticket that much more prized. When you've only got 19,500 to sell, they're hard to get. They become very valuable. He was saying, you know, in the Sky Dome, Argos could have sold out if they played here. They had all those empty seats in a 55,000-seat stadium.
Well, this is definitely a blueprint that other owners or people in the league today will be looking at for success on their own.
Stanley Jackson at quarterback now as he hands off to Mike Pringle. Jackson replacing Calvillo, who was nicked earlier in the third quarter. They call him Little Dunnigan. He's got a really strong arm, good pedigree coming out of Ohio State, and was drafted and signed by the Seattle Seahawks of the NFL as a receiver. So good speed, good arm. His dad played pro baseball with the Baltimore Orioles, so good pedigree too.
Well, he's had the start. He got the start in Winnipeg. We watched him play that game.
Jackson drop. It's complete to Tyree Davis for a first down as Davis steps out of bounds at the 47-yard line.
Well, he can do it all, as we see. Anthony Cavill with the toque on right now, the hat to keep his head warm, and the jacket. His day's over. Another good job at the office. 12-19. He just does everything so methodical. He's very smart out there, and we talked about it before. He just makes great on-field decisions, and that's really been a part of his maturing process.
Jackson stays on the ground, hands off to Pringle. You hear the growling as he goes through the interior of that Edmonton defensive line for a short game.
Well, you know, they all talk about the hits that Mike Pringle is taking as a running back. We almost forget about the fact that the hits that the guys trying to tackle him are taking. I guarantee you after the game, yeah, Mike Pringle might have some ice on him, but there's going to be about 12 guys on that defense of Edmonton with ice bags of their own just from absorbing hits from number 27, Mike Pringle.
Second down and about 4 yards. Alouettes. Jackson rolling right. It's complete to Gerard. Stepping out of bounds at the 30-yard line for a Montreal first down.
Nice job by Sylvain Gerard with his third catch of the year. Fan favorite, obviously. The second-year grad of Concordia does a nice job and just tries to keep his feet in bounds.
You see the arm strength on that 11-yard pass from Jackson as he threw off his back foot rolling with pressure and put it right on the money. First down, Alouettes at the Edmonton 30-yard line. Handoff, Haskins right side. Haskins, though, turns back. Nowhere to go. Reversing field now. Haskins getting some blocks from Jackson, the quarterback. Outside and some room to run now. Haskins finally out of bounds, but a tremendous effort. And another first down.
Well, a 70-yard run for a 10-yard gain. And when things are going right, they're going right. Haskins just coming to the right side on a sweep. His lead block is now Andre Bolduc. Does a nice job. He should have been wrapped up right there. Stays on his feet and then goes cross-country all the way to the other side of the field. Gets some great blocks, and you see Jock Climbing still working and picks up a big first down.
Well, the field is 65 yards wide. He ran at least that.
I'll figure
13-yard gain. First down. There's a breakup in the backfield. Jackson will hold on to it, puts his head down, and then pays the price as he's hit hard by senior Mobley. A broken play in the backfield, it looked like, Chris.
Well, I agree. It looks like he's going to get it just a little ahead of time. Mike Pringle didn't look like he was expecting the football, though. He looked like he was going up there on a play action to provide blocking in the middle of that offensive line. And Stanley Jackson looked like he thought he was going to give the ball to Pringle. And as a result, he ended up taking a nice hit from Sigourney Mobley.
Jim Popp, the GM of the Alouettes, was saying it's important to get your backup quarterback some playing time after seeing what happened with the Tiger Cats and Billy Dickin and Todd Bankett not getting much time and then being thrown to the Wolves. There's another completion to Sylvain Girard, and he's hit hard by Grant Carter. He'll be short of the first down. Crowd calling for the Alouettes to go for it. And out comes Terry Baker.
Here's the difference. I mean, Charlie Taft believes anytime that you can come away with any point, you come away with the points. You don't take a gamble, even with the big lead here. And, you know, he won't succumb to the pressures of the crowd. He's going to go with something. He says, no, this is my belief. This is the way I was brought up. This is my coaching philosophy. Sent Terry Baker out there. We'll try a 16-yard field goal. Should be a chip shot.
Baker 2 for 2 in field goals to start the scoring for the Alouettes in this game. This one pinned by Cahoon at the 16, and it is indeed a chip shot and good. With 6:18 to go in the game, the Alouettes lead it 37-9. Troy Westwood and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers warming up as we speak at BC Place Stadium, getting set to meet the BC Lions in Game 2 of our Thanksgiving Day doubleheader.
Well, I tell you what, the story of this game, as far as I'm concerned, we know about Mike Pringle getting the 4 touchdowns, but this defensive unit of the Montreal Alouettes has really done a wonderful job today of shutting down Mark Nora and forcing Leland Green to lead the game.
Play action now. Good fake by Crowley, going deep downfield for Vaughn. Oh, it was in and out of his hands. Tremendous coverage, though, by William Loftus, the free safety out of the University of Manitoba, who's a backup to Lester Smith.
Well, you get opportunities when you have a lead to play players that you don't normally get a chance to see. William Loftus, the grad of the University of Manitoba, he's back there. Nice throw. Crawley's right on the money. Vaughn's got it, but look at 18 with the big left hand right there, stripping the football right at the end. Coming right into your film. Right, look at that. It's a catch, and it's not a catch. Good play by number 18, William Loftus.
2nd and 10. Crowley looking. Sacked. It's Tito Hanna with his 2nd sack of the game.
Well, sometimes you don't have to be the biggest dog in the house to have the loudest or largest bite. And right now, I mean, Tito Hanna just uses the speed, does a nice job of getting in the backfield. He's at the bottom of your screen right here. Take a look at him right now, doing a little twist. Charlie Taft said we're going to do some of that stuff.
Well, he's built like a wide receiver, playing at 215 pounds, and he's savoring that one, as you say, Chris, using his finesse and his speed.
Well, speed is a big thing, and I think one of the things you got to do to confuse those offensive linemen up there, and I know it's really hard to confuse those guys, is run some twists and try and get your offensive linemen at different levels.
Tyree Davis returning this punt. Gets a block. He's gone. Sean Fleming's the only man back. Can he get him? No. Touchdown. Tyree Davis.
Can you say firepower? Unbelievable. They're just doing it every which way.
What a mob scene as Davis goes into the stands. The bleacher fans enjoying that one. A 61-yard punt return for a touchdown. The 3rd punt return for a TD this year by the Alouettes.
Well, come on. Winston October is usually the ones that done it before, but Tyree Davis, the burner, I mean, they do it with Mike Pringle. They got the big offensive line, but they got great special teams. And as you say, if it's not Winston October returning a punt, it's this guy, Tyree Davis, and what a job he does.
He had a huge touchdown on a bomb last week against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Believe it or not, that was his first touchdown. He gets number 2 on another thriller, 61 yards. The point after from Terry Baker is good, and this has turned into a rout.
Well, speed just gives you so many options. He gets to the outside. Davis Sanchez does a nice job of blocking out, allowing that little crack, and that's all a guy like Tyree Davis needs to find that seam and get to the end zone. But as he comes into your TV screen, he's just going to read the block right there. Sanchez on Edwards, and he's pointing to the end zone because he knows, I'm coming home.
Well, Winston October usually returns those punts. This time, Tyree Davis gets the glory as he pulls a Green Bay Packer hop and into the crowd and mobbed by the fans here in Montreal who have really surrounded this team.
You know, this is a great scene, and you know, you never see any of the big boys doing this. First off, they couldn't straddle that gate. You know, they'd be knocking it down, hurting people. But I just love the fact that this is what it's all about. This is why Montreal has embraced this team with such passion. They have such identity with the players.
All the injured players on the sideline as bystanders today, saluting Tyree Davis. 61-yard punt return for a touchdown.
Well, all the injured players going, hey, great job, saying, I'm never going to get back on the field. The way these guys are playing.
Kickoff inside the 10-yard line. And wow, a huge hit as Peterson goes down, and he's still down. Second and 10, Eskimos. Crowley in the shotgun. Stepping up into the rush, he'll run. Crowley's running. He's got lots of room for a first down and more, and slides just shy of the 50-yard line as Loftus was headhunting for the Alouettes.
Loftus trying to make an impression right there. Seeing his Thanksgiving turkey, Dan Crowley coming over there. And you got to love this picture. This is a smiling picture. All the boys there knowing a full day's work. Great day at the office, guys.
I wonder if Pringle will be taking him for turkey tonight.
CBC? Hey, I can't on that roof.
Big Neil Fort looking forward to his drumstick tonight.
Drumstick?
Play action now. Flags are down. Crowley reverses his field. Throwing deep. Hail Mary. And it's incomplete as Herod, the rookie, went up for it, but it was way over his head. And now there's some rough stuff.
Well, Tim Fleiser's in the game, number 34, and he's getting into it with Princeton. Everybody's getting an opportunity to play right now. A lot of finger pointing going, okay, bring it on. We'll see you next play.
They former teammates in Hamilton. Fleiser, of course, coming to the Alouettes this year, did not come to Hamilton to pick up his Grey Cup ring.
Now you see Crowley laying back.
That's a late hit.
Well, Sylvester Miller got away with that one.
Roughing the passer, Montreal, number 58. Offside, Montreal, first down.
The Alouettes, who are the least penalized team in the CFL, with 2 on that one play. They combusted 1 week ago for 21 penalties against the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and after the game was over, there was a fight between Ford and Haskins.
Well, that was a big thing. I mean, Ford's one of the leaders on this team. Even though he just came back to it, he's one of the policemen. And he goes around and he tells the guys that are taking unnecessary penalties to calm it down. Hey, guys, stay within our framework. And Thomas Haskins took a little offense to being told that by the big man, Neil Ford.
Charlie Taft does not suffer that kind of play gladly. Lots of time for Crowley, rolling right now. Crowley, Fleiser in pursuit, throws it up, and it's complete. Walters had that underneath 2 Alouette defenders. I don't know how he got his hands on it, and Crowley's limping.
What a great job of concentrating on the football by Ricky Walters. Running the route, staying with his quarterback, knowing his quarterback's in trouble. He's sitting back now. He's looking to find somebody. He gets flushed out. Now he knows he's got to get to the outside. As a result, he's only got half a field to throw to. He's got to throw to the guys right there near screen. But what a job. Look at that, going low and cradling that football. You know you're going to get hit, though, when you're doing this because you're putting yourself in a situation. Fleiser is going to take him down to the ground and ride him down.
260 pounds of dead weight on top of the quarterback, but he kept his aim and made a completion.
This is the paper where you find the magazine that contains the guide to all the programs you love on CBC Radio. The new CBC Radio Guide, a world of information, music, and entertainment. Find it in Saturday Night Magazine and every Saturday's National Post. This is the paper. This is the radio. These are the highlights you'll find in this paper to all the programs you love on the radio. The new CBC Radio Guide, a world of information, music, and entertainment. Find it every Saturday in the Saturday section of the Globe and Mail.
The second half of our doubleheader this afternoon features the BC Lions at home here at BC Place Stadium against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. A key game for both teams in terms of making the playoffs. The BC Lions are trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. The Bombers, on the other hand, are trying to win 2 in a row for the first time this season and the first on the road. Lions and Bombers, second half of the double. Now back to the East.
All right, thank you, Steve. Look forward to that. And how about the Lions losing 29-28 here and then 49-42 at home in that overtime game to Edmonton? They've been snake bit.
But the thing in both those losses, they've had the lead going into the fourth. So, I mean,
and you think Charlie Taff is talking about some of the penalties here, as you say that Ford is a policeman, having words?
Well, I think the biggest man on any team is probably the policeman.
Crowley now, the Eskimos threatening for the first time since the third quarter. Here's Carr outside, and it's strung out. A short gain, 1, maybe 2 yards on the play, as Craig Carr, the backup to Mark Nora, gets some action now.
Well, I think they've got an opportunity. It's kind of an adverse type of way to play players, but the game is out of reach for both sides right now. I mean, obviously, Edmonton has an opportunity to put Craig Carr in the backfield and trying to get some positives out of this thing, because they got to break down this film when they go home and correct the mistakes before their next game.
Second down and about 9. 4 receivers wide side. Crowley with time, lets it go. It's complete and out of bounds to Herod, the rookie, and a first down at the 10-yard line.
Herod, the rookie, with his first CFL catch. Obviously pretty happy. Would love to have had it under happier conditions. Maybe keep the football. I don't think you'd want to put that ball on your mantelpiece. Hey, yeah, Mom, this is my first catch, but we got killed in the game.
Herod out of the University of Ottawa, about an hour and 3/4 down the road from here, and he's had many fine games in this stadium against the McGill Redmen, who are 5-0, as a matter of fact, and number 7 in the country. Here's Crowley with time in the pocket, deep into the end zone, looking for McCorvey, and it's overthrown. Good coverage on the play by the Alouettes.
You know, you mentioned earlier about Kes McCorvey and the fact that it looks like he's stopping. He's unsure where he's supposed to be. That's another indication of that play. I mean, in the middle of his route, he stops, and then he tries to readjust and pick it up again, and unfortunately, he's not anywhere near the football. So definitely a lack of communication between quarterback and receiver.
Well, Kes McCorvey has had just 1 catch today for 6 yards.
I mean, here's a guy that's got 11 touchdowns for your team.
Crowley up behind the center. Quick drop across the middle. It's complete to Ed Hervey at the goal line. Then he's hit. Dropped the ball, but whistles have gone. Ball will be spotted at the 1-yard line.
Good call by the referees. His forward progress had been halted. He was surrounded by 3 of the Redcoats of the Montreal Alouettes, and blow the whistle, but they're going to get a great shot here. But again, Mark, it's 3rd down.
3rd down. This will be the 7th 3rd down gamble of the game. This time it's well worth it on the 1-yard line.
Absolutely.
Don Matthews, these points have come too late. With just 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the football game, trailing 44-9. Crowley hands off to Carr, right side, stacked up, touchdown. Craig Carr.
A nice job of
second touchdown.
Keeping your feet moving and keeping going right now, because initially, let's take a look at the line play right here. You can see what a great angle right here. Getting down, getting underneath right there, and initially stuffed. He's not crossing, and you can just see at the last second, falls over the goal line. Great determination.
Well, the Eskimos will go for the 2-point convert now. 6 receiver set. Crowley. They're short 1 player. The Eskimos have 11 players on offense for the 2-point conversion into the end zone. No good. Intended for Ricky Walters. But for the 2nd time in this football game, the Eskimos have not had the right number of players on the field.
Very uncharacteristic of a Don Matthews coach football teams, who really stresses knowing where you have to be at every particular stage of a football game. And as you said, Mark, the 2nd time they've entered the field, on the playing field, without having the right number of guys on them.
All right, let's go to the sidelines, and here's Peter Rutgeisers.
We're here with Alouette owner Robert Wettenall. Robert, great crowd today. You could have put more people in this place.
Well, we sure do. It's our 8th sellout this year in Molson Stadium, 7th sellout. We're just delighted to have the football here in Molson Stadium in Montreal on a wonderful autumn afternoon in Canada. We're really thrilled.
Now, sorry about that. You would like to expand the stadium. You could have put another 7,000 people in here today.
Well, we did turn away 7,000 2 weeks ago. I'm not sure the number today, but we did have to turn away a lot of fans in Montreal.
How much opposition is there going to be in order to expand the stadium?
Well, we'll see. We're working with the community and the various groups at McGill University, and we hope to be able to do that down the road.
Thank you very much, and congratulations on a great day. Back up to you guys.
Yes, they could sell a lot more seats if they had them at this Percival Molson Stadium, but the problem is that they're very protective of their mountain here, Mount Royal in Montreal, and getting permits and plans to expand. They do have plans to add another deck on the far side.
Also in the back end zone, they also have a lot of trees. And there's a lot of groups out there that don't want the trees removed.
And there's a hospital here, and I know they've had problems with parking.
Well, they said if you try to remove the trees, you'll end up in the hospital.
Here's an onside kick. Far side, one Eskimo there. Ooh, a huge collision. The ball still loose. The Alouettes have it. Haskins has the ball, but there's an injured, that's Franz Clarkson down on the field for the Eskimos. He was going for the ball and paid the price.
Oh, he paid the price. I mean, you can hear it all the way up here in the booth. And I mean, he is in severe pain, and you can see.
And Haskins is also down on the field. So a train wreck on the field. And you can't block another person on an onside kickoff. That is legal in football, and it looked like that's what happened there.
Well, you do anything you can to keep him away from the football on a long side or short side kick. But I tell you what a great
play as the Eskimos showed they were going to this side of the field and then kicked it back where they had one player, Clarkson. And there was Loftus making the block.
Well, if you saw that his knee was buckled underneath him as he got hit by the second guy, I mean, if we show that again, you're going to see that right leg is underneath, and when he gets hit, he just gets bowled back right over, and you know that something's got to go in that situation.
Haskins is up, but Clarkson's still down, working on his right knee.
Whoa, what a shot.
But that play with Loftus blocking is allowed on a kickoff.
Well, absolutely. Take a look as he comes in here. You can see Haskins hit him, and his right knee still buckled underneath him. Now you can see even here, look, it's not even extended yet. It's still back underneath him.
Haskins is up and walking under his own steam, and now Clarkson, the sophomore out of the University of Manitoba, with a jog, and it looks like it's not as bad as it looked earlier.
Well, they really like this kid too. I mean,
look where he's got his pants. They're well above his knees, and that's an infraction under the dress code of the CFL. A lot of these guys were not wearing knee pads and pulling their pants up.
And there used to be a penalty that you go around as a dress code penalty where they make sure you had knee pads. They've really been taking advantage of that.
Now the third-string quarterback for the Alouettes is into the game, Danny Gonzalez, the rookie out of East Carolina. Hand up the middle. It's Pringle rumbling for 5, maybe 6 yards on the play. Second down situation coming as we look to BC Place Stadium and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers being introduced to the crowd there, getting set for game 2 of our Thanksgiving Day doubleheader. Sean Millington strapping the pads on against his former teammates. Damon Allen warming up, and it looks like he'll be okay to play after being injured last week against the Eskimos. So game 2, it's the Lions and Bombers coming up immediately after this one. Mike Pringle with 139 yards on the ground in this football game, his 5th 100-yard game of the season.
See Kahari Jones there, the quarterback from Winnipeg. Getting ready, had a great game last week. Called a lot of his own plays as the offensive coordinator. Was not able to be there. He had to attend to his family, had a family illness.
There's your old friend, Troy Westwood.
With the wildest face mask you've ever seen. It doesn't even go out, it goes down.
It's low slung, isn't it?
That'd be the apropos term.
Time count violation called against Danny Gonzalez, and so they lose the down on that penalty. And it's third down now for the Alouettes, so Gonzalez gets one play. Terry Baker set to punt. 3 for 3 in field goals today. And a fake punt to set up a touchdown. Baker with time, a good spiraling punt deep into the end zone of the Eskimos. They'll let it bounce, and Vaughn won't even make an effort as it bounces through the back of the end zone. And a single point on a 68-yard punt from Terry Baker, just shy of his longest of the year. Let's go over your game notes to see if you really knew what you were talking about today.
Well, I said for Edmonton, they had to win the trench battle. Win the battle, only 7 yards rushing. Montreal's defensive line, great job. Speed kills. Montreal 4 gains over 20 yards. The big thing they felt really comfortable is they could handle the mismatches. They weren't today. For Montreal, avoid second down, long distances. You can see right now. But obviously the story of the game is Mike Pringle. I mean, he just has done everything. This is the guy right here. 4 touchdowns, tying a 1955 record.
Pat Abruzzi, yes, with 4 back then on the ground. 139 yards rushing on 21 carries. Crowell goes to the sideline. It's complete to Ed Hervey as he beats Davis Sanchez, who was going for the interception and went right by. So Ed Hervey moves the yardsticks and a first down on that 20-yard pass and run combination. The headset is off Don Matthews in the dying minute 13.
They will be looking at the film, and one of the things they do look at, Mark, is they look at how players react under adversity. Near the end of the game, when the game is out of hand, do they quit or they keep playing?
Crowley back to pass with time. He puts it on a rope, and it's complete to Herod, the rookie. And another first down as Herod was settling on a curl pattern and found all kinds of room. 20 yards on that reception. Hoggies are up and standing now on the Montreal bench. First of all, a 14th season in the CFL.
Those big boys, I mean, there's a turkey shortage in Montreal after this game because they're going to feed these guys.
Yeah, they look hungry. Here's Crowley. Across the middle. It's in and out of the hands of Craig Carr, incomplete. The ball was there, and he was open.
Just a little release pattern, get in the middle, underneath the zone, sits down, just unable to come up with the catch.
Second down and 10 as Crowley continues to work with authority here, coming off the bench for Nealon Green, disregarding the score and working at running this offense, working on some things.
Remember, every second-string quarterback wants to be the first-string quarterback. All he can do is pad his stats, play his game, and hopefully he'll get the opportunity one time.
Crowley with lots of time in the pocket. It's complete to Ed Hervey, and Davis Sanchez makes a diving tackle, but a tremendous catch. And it's another first down for the Eskimos on that 13-yard pickup. Well, look at the standings down the east with the win today.
Well, you can see we give Montreal the win 10. They got 20 points. Hamilton obviously got that big rematch coming up next week against Toronto. And will Danny Mac play next week?
Crowley will run, and he's hauled down from behind. Tim Fleischer almost clotheslined him on that one.
You know, you look at the standings with the Montreal getting 20 points right now, and Hamilton really struggling against Toronto with the backup quarterbacks there. And
well, you got to wonder, is Danny McManus back?
Well, you got to think, because they can't allow Montreal to pull away much further.
It's a short week too. They play on Friday night, so not as many days for him to continue to rehabilitate his injured hamstring. The Eskimos have called a timeout with 35.3 seconds to go in the game. Crowley will go to the bench and talk with Don Matthews. Clearly he wants to end this game on a high note with at least a touchdown.
Well, considering, I mean, a lot of the people are going to say that Montreal is just playing a prevent, you know, sitting back there protecting the lead. Sometimes stats are a little overinflated in the fourth quarter as a result, but I think he's done a pretty nice job, and I'm been really impressed with Ed Hervey coming and catching the ball in traffic right now.
The Alouettes shutting down the Eskimo running game today. Mark Nora, a non-factor. Crowley, time. It's complete to McCorvey. He finally makes the connection And that's the second catch of the game.
Well, that's definitely. I mean,
the big receiver.
Your big players have really struggled today. I mean, McCoy with a second catch. Nor only 19 yards rushing. Delon Grain didn't really shine today.
There's big Steve Charbonneau, who's nursing a turf toe and a slight ankle fracture. We saw him earlier yesterday. He was limping slightly, expects to be back. Here's a pass deep. It's intercepted. Irv Smith has the ball for the Alouettes. And he'll just go down to the end zone as Montreal rubs out a last attempt by Dan Crowley and the Eskimos to score a major.
A nice job of coveraging right there. Staying with your man, not even allowing a mental lapse, knowing there's only 20-something seconds left in the game. Staying with them, to come up with an intersection to snuff what may have been a touchdown by the Edmonton Eskimos. Nice job of protection. Just lost it into the end zone, but Irv Smith just falls off his corner position, comes back and helps out, comes up with an easy interception.
The Eskimos with 5 turnovers today to none for the Alouettes. The first being that fumble by Mark Nora, and that seemed to set the tone for him. The 14th fumble of the year by an Eskimo player. So the Alouettes will be content to run the clock down here. 15 seconds left to play. And a 45-15 lead for the Alouettes. Mike Pringle with a red-letter day. 4 touchdowns on the ground.
4 touchdowns, and you'll never get him out of the game. Even with the lead, he refuses to be pulled.
And a league-leading 18 touchdowns on the ground. Gonzalez will take a knee, and the clock has been run to 0. The Alouettes have defeated the Eskimos handily, 45-15. Mike Pringle is the player of the game as the Alouettes take over first place in the East. Now to BC Place, and here's Chris Cuthbert and Glenn Suter.